Okay, ladies and gentlemen, then welcome officially today to the best builds on hard mode servers. I did so far, I'm going to be honest with you, beat everything just simply with my good old Black Panther. So that is still an absolute incredible weapon that you do get for free, and mine is 4 stars already out of 5. That being said, I do want more reliability. I want more that can truly beat everything, okay? So that's what we're going to be working on today. I tried the Soccer Outsider, and it is good, but there's truly a limit to the damage. Like, unless you're going really completely all out, like, at some point, 30 to 40,000 DPS is anything you can deal. And let's be real, that's not a lot, right? What are the best mods for shrapnel builds? Violent ones, right, Klaus? It should be violent simply because where shrapnel can crit, right? And the Soccer Last Valor, critical hits count as 2 hits. So if you crit hit, you hit twice, which gives you then double the chance to trigger shrapnel. And then critical hits grants shrapnel chance +1, so that every shrapnel could actually trigger again, right? So that's why you want to crit. And as you're then saying, if you actually do want to crit as much as possible, well, then it kind of makes sense to go for violent mods that would boost your crit damage. I mean, my best violent mod is this. Look at it. Crit Amplifier Violent. Alone, this mod gives me 30% bonus crit damage. Also, Finken Farm, thank you for joining as a member on the YouTube as well. Appreciate it, partner. So that's truly that's truly a mod to behold, right? So we have the crit damage currently up to 98% as it stands here, and we're discussing if we're going to be playing like the Soccer Valor. So that's what we're going to start with today. We're going to play a little bit around with shrapnel and see how viable it is, especially with free gear. Because currently we had a big discussion about using the cage helmet or the beret, and the beret you get for free. Lonely, greetings. Which is my favorite part, actually. Like, I get the beret for free. Let's go. In a dungeon. And the beret with the Last Valor, and now I need to buy pants. No, wait. I need to figure out. I think I should buy gloves, because gloves is only burn, right? I need to buy a third piece of the beret set out of the Bastille set, and gloves is only burn damage. Yeah, I'm not going to play any burn damage thingy soon, so I can actually make myself the gloves of the Bastille set, because I can't play the helmet currently. That means I need to go to the wish machine. Not the wish machine, yeah. And then I need to go to the Bastille set, and I need to buy the gloves. Yes, I need to buy gloves. Why are we playing the Bastille set, where the Lone Wolf set actually gives you crit rate? Because Bastille set is weapon damage plus, which I find rather interesting, since the base of shrapnel scales of weapon damage, right? Bastille's best set. A lot of people don't like the Bastille, but I like it for many builds. So like now shrapnel is essentially dealing like 500 damage, right? And if you crouch, and then suddenly we're getting plus 40% weapon damage, and then your shrapnel just automatically does more damage. And as we're trying to actually trigger as many shrapnels as possible, more weapon damage is just perfection there. Now we could also go for the Lone Wolf to get crit, but I'm a big fan of the Bastille set. What can I say? And we pair this together currently with Falcon, because that would be crit damage plus 12%. Would other 2 pieces make sense? And then we need the beret, obviously, as the final one. So that's a little bit what we're going for. For the MG42 Predator build, you should also try to make my mag to 200. Is that even possible? Yes. I mean, getting your magazine bigger, there is tons of... I think there mag capacity here, as you can see. Like, you can get tons of mag capacity to get it bigger. And I think they go up to 9.3%. If I'm not, like, I don't know where I had mag capacity in Legendary, but I think you can get mag capacity up to, like, almost 9.3%. And that you can get this on every single piece, obviously. So that will lead to quite some nastiness, right? The higher you get that mag capacity, the crazier it goes, to be honest. So there's quite some you can get up there. So the Bastille set is great for many reasons. Like right now we're doing shrapnel. And if you look at shrapnel, it says in the keywords, up and hitting an enemy with a bullet, deal 50% attack as weapon damage. So shrapnel is essentially like just based off pure damage. The higher damage, the more shrapnel, right? So the weapon damage boost makes sense to just literally get more damage. Now, the thing with the Bastille set is that it increases your weapon damage by 40%. But this 40% weapon damage increase also works good for a sniper. So checkpoint Charlie, done, works great. Issue is that the weapon damage increase doesn't work for other keywords, because if we're now going for the gun again into the keyword factory, Bullseye is working, right? Frost Vortex is status damage and frost. Fast Gunner does work with Bastille set. Power Surge doesn't. Bounce could. I never would play Bounce though, so Bounce could work with it. Unstable Bomber doesn't, because that's also status damage and blast. Burn doesn't. Blunt does. Fortress Warfare does. So that's like where the Bastille set all works with, right? If I used Diff Evo build before, can I upgrade into a Shrapnel Soccer easily? Yes. We're currently discussing a little bit the use of mods for this build. So for example, right now we're using the Beret. The Beret says Shrapnel hit part +1, and then there's the Caged Helmet which says Shrapnel trigger count. Okay, we'll go down on this once more. Shrapnel hit part means that when I actually do hit Shrapnel, that bonus Shrapnel's hit. Okay, so every Shrapnel hit triggers a bonus Shrapnel hit. That sounds the same as trigger count, but the trigger count says every time I trigger a Shrapnel with the helmet here, I get one more. That is not the same as getting a bonus hit every time a Shrapnel hits, because the Beret essentially gives you more Shrapnel hits. This gives you more Shrapnel triggers. That leads to more hits always with the Beret. And that's where the consideration is obviously to take the mod that gives you the more part Shrapnel hits, the higher the Shrapnel damage. Now, obviously, you could also, when Shrapnel hits a weak spot, automatically refill a bullet from the inventory. Now, the thought process there would be, right? If we're now having a lot more Shrapnels because of the Beret, wouldn't it be then opportune to just go for infinite ammo, because potentially we're hitting that weak spot more often, right? As you can see, we're not running out of ammo. We can just keep blasting, which is really cool. which is really cool, right? We're just keep blasting. Especially, there's a Shrapnel weak spot hit weight, right? So you could say when it hits a weak spot, you get bonus, but it's also going to search out weak spots. Now, I'm not sure how well that works against bosses that have no weak spot. But there's, for example, the Spider, which barely has one. So we're going to have to try this out versus the Spider to see how much can we actually hit a weak spot, even though the weak spot doesn't really exist on the Spider. Kinda. Yeah, I know, chat. What? could you say this again? Because the spider's weak spots are just stupid, right? So we gotta kind of like figure out how we're gonna go with this. I mean, we could also, the 20th Shrapnel is explosive and deals 300% critical hit damage. And if you're thinking about that, the 20th Shrapnel is explosive, right? Now the question is, and that's what I don't know. If we're now using Shrapnel hit part, we're not getting more Shrapnels. Kenny, thank you for the Prime subscription. Kenny, good to see you there. So we're not getting more Shrapnels with hit part. We would only get more Shrapnels with Cage Helmet. Correct? Because the Beret just gives us more hits, but it doesn't give us more Shrapnels, technically. Now, I don't know if that actually does count. So this would be every 20th Shrapnel is explosive. Okay? So technically, if I now trigger... That was 3, right? So that was 6... 8, 11, 14, 15, 18? Technically 18, right? That would have been 20. But I didn't see like a big shrapnel explosion, right? There was a big shrapnel explosion. So again, the bonus hits from the beret don't count towards the explosion of the shrapnel, right? And in order to actually use this one then, so if we want that super big blasting shrapnel blaster, then we would have to take the actual helmet. So then we would have to say cage helmet, right? So if I now say cage helmet, then every bonus shrapnel we're seeing is actually the respective explosion. Right, if I'm blasting now the magazine through. So that was how long it took. But if we're now going for the Bastille helmet. Reload. Oh my goodness, I am trying to test something here. You're just ruining it, huh? So that was the explosion. It just takes so much longer. See, like that's how long it takes to actually get the explosion. That's what we're non-existent, right? Q, is the fast gunner build not good? No, the fast gunner build is insane. But the fast gunner build really needs the Oasis mask or it's useless. And the Oasis mask, yeah, right? So that's. I'm trying to currently see like how much better would it be to use something that is not reliant on an 8,000 item piece, right? No, Aces Mask is insane, but it costs 8,000. So like that's like, hey, you know, you want to play that? Well, then you better put 8,000 in because else like you're screwed. So right now I would probably take shrapnel weak spot weight if I'm honest with you. Even though I don't want to. There's reload speed, damage against weapon damage plus 2.5%. That was also weapon damage plus 2.5%. Damage against great ones. So it's kind of like the purple items, like the beret you get for free in the game, right? Is crit build good for shrapnel? Well, since crit makes this gun better, it would be stupid to not lean into crit, simple as it is, because critical hits count as 2 hits. So critical hits don't hit twice, but they count as 2 hits. That means every crit has 2 chances to trigger shrapnel. That's why you want to trigger shrapnel as much as possible, right? That's when you want to get as much crit as possible because more crit, more shrapnel. But that's like if you're not doing it, then you're kind of like you're missing out half what the build could do potentially. There's a calibration for the soccer. I don't have one. So we're literally like experimenting here a little bit and seeing like how well it goes with the things that we're doing. Ergo, I do not actually have a calibration for this, nor do I have it calibrated a single time. As you can see, this is like base weapon damage. I do have the attack plus 25%, which would probably work very well for... I mean, precision style is probably what I would take, but not as weak spot damage plus, right? So I need crit rate, technically. Shadowless need full lone wolf set. I disagree, but it's not bad. I mean, crit is great, don't get me wrong, but the Bastille set gives you base weapon damage plus. Now, obviously, I don't have the full lone wolf set to do the 1-to-1 comparison, which one does better. Sorry for that. What I wanted to do is I wanted to take this out for a little spin. So we have all the pieces together. We currently have the weak spot damage. We currently have the weak spot hit rate. We have the crit rate gloves. We get the bonus weapon damage and bonus weapon damage. Sadly, I didn't find anything better for shoes. So currently slow and steady is what I take. Because technically you could take also no damage taken for 20% weapon damage. But this is literally weapon damage plus 10%, right? And weapon damage plus 10% when HP is above 90%. It's just so simple. They'd be stupid for not taking that. Oh, I didn't even play around with my Cradle, right? Let me do the simple thing. Throw everything out of the Cradle quickly. Then we're gonna put on Sniper, AR, Deviant, weapon damage after reloading. We wanted to have the instant damage after triggering bullet effect damage plus 25%. That one is actually, by the way, OP. Because, like, see, this one is after reloading, instant damage, does 25% more damage, and this one is just after triggering a bullet effect. Right? It's just like, oh, yeah, hi, like, fuck you, huh? And then this one is after defeating an enemy, right? Congratulations. So you're gonna actually defeat someone to get the bonus. Shrapnel has always been main for when it comes down to the Cradle upgrades, what it just gets, right? My steady hand for the weak spot. Usually I go for this one as well. And I'm actually too lazy to take Master Tactician because I don't use any grenades. So we're usually just juicing up movement speed. Yeah. I think we're good with this. Okay, let's take this unupgraded because that's the whole point, right? My gun is just not upgraded at all. What about Frost Vortex? We'll try Frost Vortex. Don't worry. So this is all about like today is a big experimentation day. So I do have the pieces for the Frost Vortex build as well. I do have good mods for Frost Vortex as well. So I want to see how that feels. But I wanted to start with Shrapnel and then save this as kind of like my profile, and we'll talk about it. Shrapnel felt weak to your Power Surge build. I mean, like it might be that Shrapnel feels weak compared to your build, right? Sternblaze. Everything feels weak to my Fast Gunner build. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, no offense, right? Because the Fast Gunner build could almost go, like, with all the buffs for 100,000 DPS. But that doesn't make builds weak, right? Not using Power Surge. I was using Power Surge until now, but it's a bit time to experiment with other stuff. Oh, I didn't lose any bullet. Wait, that was only 4 bullets lost because of the weak spot auto reload. Okay, that's kind of cool. I gotta get used to this, right? So if what happens if I just shoot the weak spot regardless? I mean, I can't do weak spot damage, but what if I hit the weak spot regardless? Do I just still get the reload? Euler, thank you for the 45 centuries of sport. Euler, great to see you there, brother. We'll be doing very well. Fast Gunner is the only one with -1 Cradle buff. Dude, Fast Gunner is robbed in many ways. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, this is lovely for a non-calibrated weapon. So again, this is like 0 out of 10 calibration, okay? Just for you to understand, like, why are we not doing more damage? If this was 10 out of 10 calibrated, like, right? But even in uncalibrated, doing this amount feels very good. Interesting. Prime War lag wouldn't be a thing. Prime War lag got somewhat fixed. I'm not sure if I like the weak spot reload. Then again, it kind of helps, I guess. I mean, if you know you're going to face something that doesn't have a weak spot, you might as well then just not bother, right? And just swap the mod straight away. Oh, sorry. It's funny how long you can shoot with this before you truly run out of bullets, right? Cool. Now I really want to see this and upgrade it with a proper calibration. Yeah, but we can just like blast through that. That's nice. Hee. Good. Oh. Hi, Dave. Should not test it against that. Yeah, this does feel good. I'm not averse to this. How much Stardust do I have? Now, like, that's not the question. I need more calibrations. So the question is not how much Stardust do I have. Like, let me quickly see if I can grab like another calibration for this. I mean, the main upset about not having a calibration is obviously missing the crit rate, right? Because a good calibration with a good crit rate can be up to 14% more. And I'm at 26 right now, I think. So 26 or 40% crit rate does make some difference, right? Yeah, the soccer's not calibrated. No. So it's not calibrated, not a single time. It's +0 calibrations. So it's not, it doesn't only have a calibration, it's just not calibrated. Okay, I haven't put like a single point in it because I'm not gonna throw resources if I don't, like, if it doesn't feel good base, it won't feel good upgraded, right? This is like the most important part. How much do stars make a difference? 5%. Yes, every star upgrade gives you a 5% increase. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. So we have like 264, 277, 290, 303, 316, 330. And if you're comparing a 6-star versus a normal one, that's technically only 70 damage per shot more, right? And I find it sad that the base crit rate doesn't go up where the weak spot damage and the crit damage. I feel like that should actually go up as well. So it's only 330 versus 264. But if you consider that this 330 is the base damage, right? Like, so it's base weapon damage. This weapon damage is getting multiplied up by everything else, right? So if I then get plus 40% damage, it's plus 40% damage on the 330 instead of on the 264. And all your mods are also multiplying up with the, like, if you have like bonus weapon damage mod or a bonus weapon damage on your mods as an affix. Like, it's all works off this, right? It just goes higher. So that's where it just feels so much better than having a 0-star that everything just multiplies up of that. And obviously, if you then calibrate it 10 times, right? Yeah. It will just feel way more. I do believe it's good that it's not too powerful to upgrade your weapon, because obviously we want to have a tangible benefit from upgrading your weapon, but it shouldn't feel like, oh my fucking god, like one upgrade just gave me 400,000 DPS more. Is it worth it to spend 500 Starchrome to gamble for fragments? Always. Right? Like, so, the question not is the upgrade worth it or not? This is your ultimate goal, right? So that thing did not have a single weak spot. It's your ultimate goal to upgrade your weapon. That's why you're playing the game, right? To end of the day have hopefully your weapons max upgraded. I mean, for a non-upgraded weapon, this feels very good. Why else bother? Then you might as well not play hard servers, right? How do you get the screen showing the tier stats? If you go into your blueprints, right click, then you're going for upgrade. Then before you go for upgrades, just press T. It's actually really cool that they have info for everything. It's just that the info field's always hidden. What others are you going to try? Frost Vortex. There was some stuff I wanted to see if it could work with Frost Vortex. And I wanted to try some mod combinations that I had floating around in my head. So that's the next thing I have on the list that we truly want to put through the paces. Especially, again, because the Frost Vortex is something you get for free. Like, why do I like the soccer so much? Because the soccer is essentially the first gun that everyone has if you played a novice server, right? then you should have this gun, because the gamble was just so much worth it to take. Is the LMG build still good in hard mode? The LMG is insane in hard mode. By the way, I just got the crit mod in with 4 greens. Are you kidding me? Look at that. I just found this. Just with 4 greens. That's nice. I mean, considering that we have like the crit amplifier with like 0s, and that's just a quad upgraded one. Jaws build can counter both void and bounce anomalies. Unstable bomber for void, pistol for bounce. Yes, but like you just mix and match. Worst case scenario. I mean, usually like you don't really bother about countering anything like this void bounce or whatever stuff. You just like, I have a sniper with me that if I fight something that is balanced, I'll just shoot it right quickly. I mean, it's not like that these mobs just appear like tenfold, right? It's just like, oh no, the mob that is actually resilient. What should I do right now? And then you just blast it. Soccer Outlander build. So we tried with the Outlander, so the soccer. The problem is limit, really limited in damage and scope. So I was really trying the power surge soccer in and out, and it actually carried me nicely through hard mode. And the outsider is good versus the spider. So with the outsider, you could really nicely solo the spider. But that's like a little bit what I want to do today. I want to see how does the shrapnel gun actually feel against the spider. Because I haven't actually ever tried it against her. Oh no. So like this, right? I'm fighting 3 guys with 1 magazine. Unupgraded again, but 1 magazine. I don't run out of bullets. It's kind of cool. It's easier to switch from shrapnel into Jaws build since it's used similar gear, or just stay with shrapnel. I mean, I do have the Jaws too. I just really don't like the pistol. Like I'm just not a pistol enjoyer, right? I like holding down my left mouse button and shooting ARs, personally. Do I need a group content to get Starchrome? No. The only group content you need to do for Starchrome is Prime Wars, but even Prime Wars are relatively unpersonal when it comes down to this. Because in order to do Prime Wars, what you're going to do is, like, if a Prime War is being done, then it will pop up here on the map. Then you can just teleport to it, bring your grenades, rockets, a Gatling gun, if you then so wish to. And then, like, do help or not help the team, be a hindrance, like, whatever you feel like doing, right? So, like, choose your poison. Yeah, Shrapnel Scar is good against Spider. Like, what I'm hoping for is that you could actually hit the weak spots without hitting the weak spots, right? So that's my hope. I'm not sure if that would actually work. Let me check how much Stardust I have. So my only problem I have with the Icy Vortex is actually a very simple one, chat. That my set is useless with the Icy Vortex. So that's what I have to say. I like, with the Bastille set, to find builds that work with the Bastille set, right? So I might have pigeonholed myself a little bit by taking the Bastille set, that I'm essentially now looking for Bastille set builds. And every single status condition build does not profit from the Bastille. That's just like as simple as it goes, right? No rocket science involved there. It just does not work very well with the Bastille. So Price, who would have guessed, right? I have 1,400. Yeah, I can at least calibrate the weapon a bit up to make it feel better. And the first 4 calibrations are luckily a bit cheap, so that's fine. Shrapnel Carnage makes your shrapnel hits weak spots more often. See, that's what we're doing currently. We're using the Shrapnel Souvenir. For when shrapnel hits a weak spot, we refill a bullet. Okay, then we're using the helmet mod for crit. We're using shrapnel weak spot hit weight plus 10% and weak spot damage plus 25. And then followed up by the crit rate plus 10 and 15. Now, obviously, you don't need that one, right? We could just rely on anyways hitting the weak spots. But the other option was going to be the explosive shrapnel, and the explosive shrapnel does not really work well with the beret. So therefore, the beret is kind of safe, right? Bastille must be the best armor because of 40% weapon damage. Yeah, but only on builds that do profit from weapon damage. So Bastille set is good, and weapon damage is multiplicative. That's why Bastille set is so good. But the special effect builds, so we are talking Frost Vortex, Power Surge, and Unstable Bomber, they do not profit from this. Yes, with the Bastille set, you'll always hire your DPS, right? So Bastille set will always hire, there's no question, it will always hire the DPS because your base damage is doing more. But it won't hire the actual status effect. If your status effects are what does the damage, then, well, that's that, right? So why not Obliterate? I don't know which one Obliterate was. Sir, which one is Obliterate? Obliterate was, that was for Frost Vortex. Wait, what? Yeah, Obliterate was renamed, but like, Obliterate, wasn't that a Frost Vortex thingy? Or you mean a different one? Do you mean, I don't know which one you mean. I mean, there's the shrapnel. Like, are we still? Were you talking about the shrapnel explosion? So the explosive shrapnel. Obliterate is now shatter them all. Okay, but wasn't shatter them all? Wasn't shatter them all here? On the weapon, shield breaker. Shatter them all. So why not shatter them all over the weak spot? Refill ammo. Good point, sir. Good point. So, like, this is good DPS. Okay, so like. It's a very good question. So let's talk about this. We have this one on, okay, with the bullet refill, and I currently have another 500 bullets, so this should hold. Let's reload the weapon, and we're going for the target, okay? So now I'm just like, I got the weak spot bullet refill, right? And I'm just gonna be here, and we're gonna be shooting and 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 shooting, right? Right, nothing's bad. We're still shooting, okay? So damage, right? Damage. Now let's swap over to the bonus damage, which will do more damage. So that's a fact. You'll do more damage with it. There's no questions asked. Like this one does have crit damage, so I'm gonna take one that has at least weapon damage plus. Okay, so we get some more. Now I do have 30 bullets, right? And I'm shooting, and I'm shooting, and that's it. So it is good damage, and there's no question about that. But I'll have to reload. Right? And that happens every 30 bullets that I have to reload. So the question should probably not be like, it's a playstyle decision. Let's say you like bursting away your magazine and then go again and go again and go again and go again. Okay? So like burst away your magazine, reposition, burst away your magazine, reposition. And against some bosses that might actually be useful. So if against certain bosses you only have a limited amount of damage you can deal per phase, per time, per shot, per blast, then it might be more opportune to actually put on that mod. And that comes literally down to which boss are we fighting against, right? Which boss are we here which boss are we here to kill? And then it makes perfect sense to certainly consider certain opportunities instead of going for the bonus ammunition. I mean, if I'm going to be fighting through hordes of monsters, like, right, if there's a lot of ads, then I always take the unlimited ammunition because I don't want to reload. Like, how am I looking? Like, why would I want to reload? When your server hits 2, does it live when the timer runs out? Yes. could use Obliterate with a Ruthless Reaper. It doesn't work against bosses because you would have to kill ads. So you're right, you could use Obliterate with Ruthless Reaper, but if you're using Ruthless Reaper, that was Reload Rampage? No, not Reload Rampage. It's on, was it on Boots? Hey, here, Ruthless Reaper, right? Yep. So you need to get 2 kills to refill, but these 2 kills, okay, for the ammunition refill would also lose you 20% damage. So also another thing to consider. Sure, I could use Ruthless Reaper, and there's nothing wrong with Ruthless Reaper, but if you're using this, you're losing 20% bonus weapon damage. Any downside to use Ruthless Reaper in general? Damage loss. I mean, Ruthless Reaper is great, especially while leveling. So while leveling, you have to use this. If you're not leveling and using Ruthless Reaper, you're just a fucking idiot. Said it. I'm not taking it back. I could have said it nicer. I'm not planning to. Okay. So yeah, the slow and steady just gives you 20% more damage. Why not use Covered Advance? Taking no damage within 4 seconds grants 20% melee, weapon, and status damage for 30 seconds. Also works. I mean, like if you want to use Covered Advanced or if you want to use Slow and Steady, that's personally your choice. Sometimes Covered Advance will not be working in a boss fight if you're playing solo. I think if you're playing in a team, Covered Advance is a no-brainer. Probably, right? I mean, Covered Advance is like, it's like a literal no-brainer when you're playing in a team. Okay, because you're just that's it, right? You're just gonna be not taking damage for 4 seconds. In Leo Lab, it's so hard to be above 90%. If you're playing solo, yes. If you're going in with a team, no. So I guess end of the day, like whatever you feel like. I mean, if I play Covered Advance and just randomly stroll through the world, I just lose the bonus constantly. But I'm like a Dumbo, right? I forget to completely finish off people whatsoever. These are just personal preference. I don't like, you know, that's just personal preference. I mean, I have a good Covered Advance, right, with weak spot damage and max capacity. So this one is also good. I mean, I would prefer one with probably weapon. That's weapon damage. That would be great. That's weapon damage. That would be great too. I mean, technically, I should take this just for the weapon damage. I mean, this is crit damage plus 3%, which is kind of fucking sad, right? That's only status damage plus. I mean, right now, this is technically better from the substats at least. So this would give me some stability more. So I guess I can take it for now. Some said Beret and Firefighter mask sucks. You recommend buying the old gold mask for Shrapnel. So like it depends on what you're playing. Again, it really comes down to the mod. We just talked about it. So Beret gives you more hits for your Shrapnel, and the Cage Helmet gives you more Shrapnels. Okay, chat? More hits for your Shrapnels, more Shrapnels. More hits for your Shrapnel, more Shrapnels. The use of the Cage Helmet simply depends on if you want to use Obliterate or not Obliterate. If you want to use Explosive Shrapnel. Because if you use Explosive Shrapnel, which gives you every 20 Shrapnel an explosive boom, right? That is perfect for trigger count. Okay. This one literally only works with the helmet. It doesn't work with the Beret. Because the Beret doesn't make more Shrapnels. Okay. Very important. Let's pick up the bullets. So that's probably like, that's the nuance again. I see these things a lot when we're talking about builds, like Creator X said this is useless, and Creator X said that, but he probably also added that if then else when why maybe, you should be looking out for Z. Let's do one run of the Securement Silo just to see how the build feels. I mean, we're probably not doing prime damage currently, but let's give it a go. What's the best mods for the Firefighter helmet? See, like, I don't know, because the Firefighter helmet is worded so weirdly that it essentially says you cannot hit more than 1 shrapnel. Like just the wording of the helmet is so weird, and I don't have it. that I feel like there's so many mods that don't profit from it. But the best way you would probably play the helmet is with the every 20th shrapnel, you do a bonus boom. Because if your shrapnel hits are 120% doing more damage, if you're then doing that big crit every 20 shrapnel hits, then that crit would be bigger. Right? That's the thought. In shrapnel, should I use the blue body crit mod? You're talking about the crit damage here? The crit damage enhancement for 2 and 12, which is not bad. I mean, as much as I like the crit damage enhancement, right? I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan, don't get me wrong. What I don't like is, sure, it's 2% and 12% more, right? And in total, this is 18% more. But let's say you get a violent version. Like, I can also get 6% crit damage here already, correct? And that's not all of it. Like, I can get vastly more. I can also get weapon damage plus 4.5%, like plus 4.8%, right? Like, technically, these are not bad. But practically, if you have like 4 epic or even some legendary stats on your respective chest mods, like, I mean, you're just like, it's gonna be just so much more beneficial to have this fully upgraded, right? If that makes sense to you. That's how I personally feel about it. I mean, especially because you can get like the damage versus grade ones and you can get max HP bonus. It's just generally useful what you can all like squeeze out of that, technically. The resonance mods have nice bonuses for crit ADC. Yeah, the resonance mods look great, but I've so far only seen resonance mods that actually have worked nicely. Wow, we're actually, like, I wasn't surprised doing so much damage here. The resonance mods have worked nicely mostly for elemental damage. That's what we're definitely going to be using because I have a very good elemental damage resonance mod. Huh. I'm surprised by the damage output of the 4 times calibrated one here right now. General feels good. So right now, what is our goal? So our goal is not to find a niche case scenario weapon, right? So my goal was for hard mode to find something just for you to understand why are we doing this. I just want to find something that I can always use, right? So if I would say, like, I want to go from start to end of the hard mode server with 1 gun, right? I don't want to worry about much. Which gun would that be for me personally? And obviously for me that's the Black Panther because I love the Black Panther. Like, the gun is just unbeaten. Sorry, it's too good. But like, at least AR wise, I was mostly using the Outsider, and the Outsider feels fun. The problem is, though, that with the Outsider, you're going to be focusing on elemental damage, right? A lot. And if I do focus on elemental damage, I'm essentially going to be losing out on damage that my soccer could get through actually going for crit and whatsoever. Because obviously crit and whatsoever also profits my sniper. I mean, sniper's obviously weak spot damage, right? But you can still, end of the day, if you then wish to, actually boost your weak spot damage up with crits. It doesn't multiply as nicely as it should because they're like additive, adding the crit damage on the weak spot damage. So it's not like weak spot damage multiplied by crit damage. That's sadly not how it works, even though I think it should work like that personally. Since it does not work like that, we're due, like, you know, we can't go as ham as we wish to. You're in the normal dungeon, I think. You can't go into hard mode dungeons yet. This is the normal dungeon on hard mode servers. It's essentially harder, just so you know. Okay. So that's very important. Where music plays, the music should be incredibly quiet. Just saying. I'm the first person to ever say something. Is it still possible to get acid on oil? It is possible, but unnecessary. We just made a video on this, that on hard mode servers, there's zero need to farm oil unless you have a perk for it. And the main reason for that is that on hard mode servers, everyone is a cracked out professional to a degree. And people like really... People already going all out, so there's like absolutely no need to do an insane oil farm. You don't just need the masses of barrel premium fuel, and if you truly do need barrel premium fuel, you can actually get way more by simply doing rotations in the Blackfell refinery. What's your preparation before entering the silo food drinks? I don't have any food drinks I specifically take. I just drink beer for no sanity loss, and I just eat canned meat because it's very convenient to craft. I don't use any specific food buffs. Like you won't find me like always taking like the maximum damage cakes and whatsoever. If your build doesn't work well without, then you already failed in the beginning, right? So like all these food buffs and all that kind of stuff is cool, and it's nice to have if you really want to go all out. But it's only supplementary, right? So you can squeeze out top end DPS if you then feel like it. But if you need certain food to even make your build work, then we need to talk about your build, right? I'm on a PvP server, but my shrapnel build's Mel's player with just half a Mac. But Jaws feels much better. See, like you're saying PvP, and I have no word for that for you, right? Like it might be that Jaws just feels better because Unstable Bomber just feels better in PvP, right? Because you hit someone, and then I don't actually know how Unstable Bomber exactly works, and then Unstable Bomber triggers later. So there's a reason why that might be just feeling better in PvP, right? And that's like what you have to think about, right? Popter, thank you for the 36 centuries of support. Popter, good to see you there, brother. Okay, what happens if I don't shoot the weak spots? I mean, I should still shoot the weak spots because you just want to pop them, right? I mean, like considering that he does actually have so many weak spots that I can just keep... You can just keep shooting them and never run out of bullets, so that's actually cool. And what do you do now? Like, am I not going to shoot him in the weak spot now? Am I just going to shoot him in the arm and hope for my... See, this is like a bit where I don't like the no weak spot damage thingy. Because what am I going to do right now? He's on the ground. He's weak spotted. I mean, obviously, in this case scenario, I pull out my sniper to do the maximum damage, right? Because the shrapnel wouldn't do what I needed to do in this scenario, given... You know what I mean? Yeah, in PvP, you have like 5 bullets to do something. See, that's a valid point. If you're saying that, if in a PvP scenario where you're fighting someone, you need a few bullets with maximum effect, that means you need a burst, right? And that's like a big thing that a lot of builds don't put into consideration. So for example, my fast gunner build, the longer I shoot, the more DPS I do, because the way how fast gunner works, right? So the fast gunner MG4 Predator is meant for PvE, since you can get up to 100,000 DPS easily. Now that wouldn't work in PvP though, because obviously like I would have to completely statically stand still. But if you're now having a build where you jump around a corner, unload 10 bullets, and these 10 bullets already do 50,000 DPS. But if you would then keep shooting, your DPS evens out to 30k or even below, right? That still makes your build good, but just only for burst scenarios. Correct? Something to consider. Kind of. What settings using? I got FPS drops. I am currently using I have my FPS limit to 144, and that seems to take care of all the drops. So I'm stuck 144 FPS. I'm not going lower or higher. That's where we're going around with. Have you experimented with contaminated crops? Yes, it's a waste of time. I hate to say this, like if you want to play around with Gumbo, what do you got for me? Don't make me shoot you. Okay, Gumbo, because it's you. Okay? This is you. I'm not gonna shoot you. Aren't those Nelkit Easter eggs like super expensive to craft, Gumbo? I'm pretty sure they are. You're giving away your wealth, sir. I've actually never seen a Nelkit Easter egg. I've never had the perk. So where do they end in the inventory? Where do there? So Used to randomly receive contents of a settlement loot crate. Okay. Cool. I got bread, cheese, and a platinum crystal. Okay, this feels as underwhelming as I expected it to feel. I will be honest. It's like, you know, in theory it sounds good, but practically it's like, when? Yeah, well, we know about the asset farming. Don't get me wrong, chat. We know about asset farming, and there's nothing wrong if you want to use the contaminated shit to asset farm. So like, be my guest, do that. But like, I just put my impure acid in and I brew my beer and I'm good. Because the thing is, like, what do I want my crops to be? I want my crops to be wheat, nothing else, just wheat. Okay. And I don't want to bother with like growing multiple different things. I just want to have wheat. And then I got my one little purifier here who just makes me acids the whole time. And I'm just gonna passively create my acid farm done. And again, like, there's zero need to in any way try to get fuel unless you have fuel to Stardust, right? And that's why I'm building my base here. I'm not only building my base here, though. Why am I building my base as well? Guys, look at this. What is this? This is Trump's Great Wall, only that it works in a video game. It doesn't work in real life because it's a shit idea in real life. Okay? But all the mobs will spawn here and there and be stuck. That's it. They'll be stuck. They're like, stepbrother, help me. And I'm going to like, no problem. Bam, 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 bam. Just blast them away, right? Unless a flying opponent comes, so that's a bit unlucky. Because he's then just going to fly over and try to shoot you. I need a lot of missiles because you're on a high pop streamer server. Yeah, but look at me. This is my amount of barrel premium fuel I have. 300. And I didn't even try. So the thing is, on one day, this server just 20 Prime Wars, and you could just join and get your rewards. That's it. I always brought rockets, right? Like this is enough. You don't need more. Like, if you have more, that's nice, but what for? Right? You're making 2,000 acid per day with a mega farm. That's cool, but what are you using that for? I mean, I'm mostly looking at all of this. So when you're looking at all my scaling, all my production, right? This is solo player playing the game, beating everything kind of scaling, right? I haven't bothered making all the energy generators yet, okay? I haven't bothered maxing out the amount of generators I can make. I haven't bothered, like, see, I'm still using solar panels up there. I haven't bothered making as many as possible because I just don't need to. What about the red missiles later on? They're fuel expensive as fuck. Well, first and foremost, I cannot make the red missiles, and you can get the red missiles from the wars. They actually do get you them. Right? That being said, I personally, as someone who actually plays a lot, did not participate in the Manibus Prime Wars at all. Now, obviously, if you're playing that long, and if you want to bother with the Manibus Prime Wars, right, later on, then you might have to move your base. But this is the important part, right? So, like, in this phase here right now, I'm making so much acid currently in week 2. So this is week 2, correct? This is week 2. This is phase 2. I'm making so much acid that I'll be good for 3, 4, and 5. Because let's be real. This is, look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. This is the 2 phases where you need acid, right? This is the 2 phases where you build your base. In phase 3, hard mode comes out. But like, you reach the point where you don't need acid anymore. In phase 4, you don't, like, the only things I do in phase 3 and 4 is I log in to do Prime Wars and hard mode dungeons. That's it. I don't log in for anything else, correct? In phase 4, I log in to do the pro mode dungeons and the pro mode Prime Wars. That's it. I don't log in for anything else. And in phase 5, I only log in to do the Nightmare Prime Wars if I then want to, or just do the close encounters for Manibus, right? So for me personally, after phase 2, I might consider moving my base as soon as I have everything built I need. So if I have my maximum generators, my maximum pumps, everything, then acid is just not a concern. Also, to the topic of acid farm is not necessary, I like to counterpoint this with, okay, so someone, I got a popular YouTube comment. Can you guess what it was? So someone said he has 400 hours in the game and he has never had a problem with any resource. Do you see where the problem here is? The person has 400 hours in the game. Obviously, he has no resource problems because he has 400 hours, right? I mean, if you have the time, you would just be like, hey, I'll just farm acid for 4 hours in Blackfell because I got no life, and that's okay. Okay, sorry, we're not like, I'm not judging. I'm not judging what you do with your time. You know? So if you have the time, you don't need the farm. But if you don't have the time, you want the farm. I mean, why would I ever farm something active when I can just have it happening passive, right? But it's often something that is not understood by people that just have too much time. I'm not judging you. Again, do what you like. So we get the Icy Rain. I mean, first and foremost, let me save the Shrapnel build for now because we already have played around with the Shrapnel, so it feels really good already. I'm just mad for not having the AR thingy I want, and I'm not going to destroy this weapon because that is my actual weapon. I need to destroy the leather boots. We're going to go into my gear, and in case you still don't know this, you press H, preset, okay. Now I can hover over this and I can say override. So this MG4 Predator build is now being overwritten by my soccer shrapnel, because that's how you pronounce it. Soccer shrapnel. So, and now we can go for the other things. Devil, thank you for the 18 months of support. Popper, thank you for the 36 too. Good to see you there. Hope you're both doing very well. Gumbo, want to check my base real quick? Gumbo, where's your base? Invite me to your party. It's unfair how easy the shrapnel food is to make. Wait a second, which one is the shrapnel food? I know I have it. Like, wasn't it just... It wasn't preserved deviated chops. That was damage versus bosses. It was shellfish meat? No, shellfish meat was vulnerable. It was just canned meat. Yeah, it was just canned meat, right? It was an actual scam. I'm with you. I'm with you that like how much scam it is that you can just make this meat so easy. Plus salt. Yeah, so my problem is I don't actually have salt despite being in a salt region. So I am in a salt region right now, and I am not having salt because if I try to get salt here, it doesn't work. Yeah. So what I actually do need to do to get salt is I need to go into my inventory, production facilities. I need to whip out a mining operation platform because that one is farming salt. And then we need to wire this up to my thingies. Find the outlet. Find the outrance. And then we're just getting salt here now because I'm lazy. I'm mostly lazy. Still, he has no power, sir. I just connected you to having power. How do you not have power if I just connected you to power? You are all interconnected with each other. There should be more than enough power for you. I do have my towers up. I do have my towers active still. Okay, this does actually make sense. Sir, don't swim under the base. Swim inside of the base. I forgot something. Gumbo, I need to turn off the towers. No, I forget to turn off these. So we're making salt, right? It's because I'm a lazy person. But that's right. You're correct. The Kenland Mage is very easy. So where's your base, Gumbo? Gumbo, where's your base? Do you give me a mark? Is that your base marker? Teleport to Gumbo. Oh, did you just teleport me? Wait, there was an item you can do this, right? Yeah, I can space turn him. Okay, let's see. Gumbo wanted us to raid his base, chat. Oh, you build a waterfall base. That's actually cute. I've seen many iterations of waterfall bases already. And I like that you're a fish enthusiast, even though the fishes in the tanks are bugged, right? Because they glitch out on the sides unless they fixed that recently. I've seen many iterations of waterfall bases because I've been online, right? I dislike this. That makes me unhappy. Let's go up, see what you got there. So I would assume this is the only spawn point you have for enemies, right? So probably regarding on where the base is currently. Wait, let me jump out of here for a sec. Regarding on where the base is, if you look at it, because probably they can't spawn below. They're probably all going to be spawning like right here. On the other side too, I split the turrets. Yeah, makes sense. It's just good when they can't enter the actual base. I like this here, the water generators, how they're being there. It's kind of cute. Well, let's get back in. Is the purification level of monsters scaling in the area if your base also happens on a hard server? Very good question, can't tell you. I just know that the purification monsters are absolutely beasts currently. See, this is something I would never bother with in base building because I'm a terrible person, guys. Like going for ambience, right? Ambience ain't happening. We got no time for that. We're gonna build. I don't know what your garage is doing in here, sir. But who does not want to have a motorcycle garage? Look at him. He built a sex dungeon and a casting couch. Wherever he wanted me to visit his sex dungeon. That's fine. I love that wall. Beautiful. Look at your cute base. I like what you built here. Has my full respect. This looks very good. I'm not a fan. Like I'm not a fan of building extensive bases myself, just because I know I'm not going to make them look good. Right? I have 20 turrets for purifications, as you should. You should have 20 turrets for purification. That's important. The purification mobs are 48. Well, purification mobs are nowadays really cruel. So if you're going for the purifier, right? And I'm just putting in, oh shit, I need a tier 2. Wait, where's my cortexes? I'm gonna put the cortexes in here. Let's join them out. So, join all the cortexes out. Go here. If you actually put the cortexes back in. Like level ones give you like monster level 15, right? Level 2s are currently sitting at monster level 25, but that's not true because it says this should be monster level 25, right? And then with this, it should actually be monster level 35. But this is not true because if I do a one star purification in this area, as you said, the monsters are level 48. Yes. So it seems that the monster level, for some reason, might scale with the zone. Now, the only way to actually test this would be taking my base to move it all the way to a level 1 zone and doing a purification there, but I'm not going to do that. So, is the helmet better than the beret or not? It comes down to your build. So, we're going to talk about shrapnel for one more second here, as we wanted to try the Icy Vortex build. So right now I can already say that the Last Valor feels really good on hard mode. Oh, we need to kill the spider quickly. That's actually what we wanted to try out. So we need to kill the spider. The Valor feels good. So why gas mask or beret? Beret gives you more shrapnel hits. So if I trigger shrapnel, my shrapnel hits more. That means one shrapnel with how the soccer works can hit 4 times. The cage helmet gives me every time a shrapnel triggers, another shrapnel trigger. Now, the important part is that this weapon says something. It says critical hits counts as 2 hits. that means you have 2 chances to trigger shrapnel. So if the critical hits now counts as 2 hits and I trigger shrapnel 2 times, then each shrapnel could hit a bonus chance with the beret, correct? And each shrapnel could trigger another shrapnel with a cage helmet. So that's the same. That's each going to be 4. But if critical hits grant shrapnel chance +1, and then another shrapnel is triggering, then you didn't trigger another shrapnel. It's just that a shrapnel might trigger a second time. Okay, so if there's a shrapnel chance +1 and you trigger a shrapnel, there might be another shrapnel triggering, but it's just another shrapnel, and that second shrapnel that triggers gets another shrapnel hit part, but it doesn't get triggered for the cage helmet. Okay? Yeah. That's at least what the testing showed. Therefore, the beret feels better. Now, 90% videos are about shrapnel. That might be true, but like that's not the question here, right? I mean, shrapnel builds are good. Facts, my friend. Because other weapons are just simply not good. But we just want to see what would be the best for hard mode. A certain other builds, ice or power surge. I mean, power surge is simple, but you can't scale it as high as I would like to. At least not with the equipment I have. So the problem is, if you're looking for armor mods, okay, Chad? If you want to play ice and power surge, you're more or less forced to buy yourself either, depending on your weapons, the Lone Wolf set, or you already have to go for the Shelterer. Because Shelterer, each weapon hit grants 1 stack of Deviant Energy. Every stack of Deviant Energy grants 1% elemental damage plus, and that can stack up to 20 times, right? That's great! Because it's just a simple increase of your elemental damage by 20%. That's cool. And technically what you want is 3 sets of Shelterer and 3 sets of Lone Wolf. But that's also bad because most surge builds will need you to either play the Mayfly goggles or to run the... I think there's another power surge. Yeah, or you could run the gas mask, for example, for power surge, I think. But the Mayfly goggles are actually really good. The MG4 is great. The MG4 is fantastic, but it needs an 8,000 item piece. And as much as I like the build, like having to recommend people to use an 8,000 item piece just never goes down well, right? It's like, hey, you want to use that build? 8,000 Starchrome, brother. so 8,000 Starchrome, then you can use the build. Oh, you don't have 8,000 Starchrome? Well, fuck you. Don't use the build. You suck. What about shotguns? Shotguns are fun. Don't get me wrong. And I played a bit around with them. I know how good the Doombringer is. It's just that shotguns don't really feel that satisfying to use. Like, it's just like, make it go boom, if that makes sense, right? It just feel very... Shotguns are powerful, but they feel unsophisticated. If that makes sense to you. They just literally, in my eyes personally, it feels like I don't need to use my brain to make a shotgun build work. It's just literally like shotgun go boom, right? Oh. What do you mean by status and elemental damage? Come closer, Shikar. Come closer. I'm gonna let you in on a secret, okay? Kane, thank you for the Prime subscription. If you go on a gun, left click, okay? Boom, boom, boom. Then you go for weapon features. You can swap this with A and D, okay? And then if you're actually going over what the gun does, you can press X, and you land in this window. Now, Shrapnel says weapon damage, easy to understand. Bullseye is vulnerable, easy to understand. Fast Gunner is just attack rate, fire rate, triggering. Fucking simple. Bounce is also weapon damage. Blunt is blunt. You know, you smoke it. Fortress Warfare is also just weapon damage. Then we're going for Unstable Bomber, and that's different already because Unstable Bombers now trigger 1 status damage blast of 100% psi intensity, so you need as much psi intensity as possible, right? And it's status damage. So if anything hires your status damage, you hire unstable bomber. And then there's blast damage, and blast damage falls under... I'm not sure if blast damage, but blast damage should fall under elemental, right? Doesn't it say like here... Deviant energy, where's deviant energy? I'm blind. Blaze, frost, shock, blast. Yeah, see, that's elemental damage. Ta-da. I'm smart. I knew it. So yeah, that's also what's going to hire the damage there. So that's kind of like what it says. And the same goes also for frost vortex, the status and frost, right? Status and frost. Then you get power surge with status and shock. Surprise. Who would have guessed? Power surge, shock damage, huh? Yeah. And that's why I like shrapnel, because shrapnel is weapon damage, right? Shrapnel is like literally weapon damage. So that's great, which means the more weapon damage you do, the more shrapnel you do. Ergo, if you now have the Bastille set, which boosts your weapon damage by plus 40%, ta-da. Because that's the thing, like I get weapon damage plus 40% with the Bastille set. If I would now go for the Archer set, so hitting the same enemy consecutive grants 1 stack of Archer focus, increasing weak spot damage by 4% up to 10 stacks. Well, congratulations, that's bonus weak spot damage. But what does that do for you again? For shrapnel, you want more crit than weapon damage. That is not completely true. You want crit, but crit isn't a multiplier, sadly, for some reason. Like, crit is supposed to be a multiplier, but it's not. It's more additive damage, actually. And you're going to end up doing less damage than you expect to do with crit, because you would expect it to be a multiplier, but it's additive. Whereas weapon damage works multiplicative. Okay, so am I hitting weak spots when I just shoot you? Wow, that was a lot of damage. I mean, this is obviously just normal mode, right? Nothing too crazy. I'm just happy for actually hitting the weak spot. You see, that was always my assumption. If I would use shrapnel versus her, wow. So this is like, this works so stupid good. I like that's nice. It's like 4 times upgraded is nothing special, right? So she just goes. I mean, it's only normal mode spider, but that's not the point. On hard mode, she's actually a bit harder. But I'm just like willing to try something out. So for this then though, I would still pull out my sniper because it would do more damage, right? And as you see, crit actually works nice on sniper as well. Because obviously axe don't have weak spots, right? Oh, these axes have like tons of HP. That's actually kind of cute. Not sure if I would be faster actually with shooting it with the shrapnel gun. Don't really mess around with this. Hey, ladies, we're trying to have some fun here, shooting axe. Always feels like that the distance is nerfing our damage here to the axe vastly. So you kind of gotta like closer up, probably, to do some more damage. And you just died, nerd. Wait, are you? That feels like bad because an axe doesn't have a weak spot. It's always been my complaint about like any gun that works with weak spots. That's why I like power surge so much. Because if you have power surge with crit, like the Soccer Outsider especially, that's why I played the Soccer Outsider here. So if you have power surge with crit, then you essentially are playing the Soccer Outsider versus these axes, right? And you're just, lady, I'm just trying to explain something to chat. So if you have the Soccer Outsider or the Fast Gunner LMG at this point, you're essentially just shooting the axe and they just pop, right? Oh, lady. And now we're trying versus you again. Yeah, this is beautiful. Like, we're not even running out of bullets. Oh, that's so hilariously stupid. I might not even bother about shooting the axe at this point. It's cute. Love that. The Axe are way tankier. Oh, the Axe are tankier beyond belief. There's no question about that. I mean, again, like with a power surge weapon, you did actually destroy them really nicely. You know what? You should probably have a burn weapon for this, right? And if I would have to think about what weapon would make sense versus Spider Axe, is it a burn weapon? Extra normal, tankier normal mode. Well, I don't have hard mode on this server. I mean, there's a lot of things that are actually overtuned, like interestingly overtuned. So I don't know how to say this, right? So the game itself has like some weird overtuned stuff happening to certain elements. Like why are the Axe like this tanky, right? If I would have to kill these Axe on hard mode, you could forget about that. Like there's no world where in hard mode I will pump out enough damage to actually destroy the Axe, right? Don't even bother. Yeah, adding elemental damage is nice with the Axe, exactly. That's where, like, bringing the sniper is useless in this case, so you would be better off bringing probably the icy vortex, if I'm honest. Even though it's ranged, so you're probably better with a burn. Burn. Yeah, burn. If the gas time helmet is worth the investment, no. The gas side helmet is only, like, for one specialized shrapnel build. So we're too lazy to actually shoot the Axe. We're just going to wait for her to jump down. She just jumped down, right? This is just great. Like you're just shooting her, right? And you're hitting all the weak spots all the time. So you're just never running out of bullets. This just got a special place in my heart. I'm going to say it. Because of how fun that was. So why are we actually killing the spider over any other boss? Because the spider's the only hard boss. Like if I'm honest with you, from all the bosses in the game, right? From every single boss in the game, the spider's the only annoying one. At least for a sniper player. Like every other boss is like easy sniper mode, right? So yeah. But you switched to shrapnel, but I didn't switch to anything. I'm experimenting. I'm mostly trying to find things that work with a Bastille set. Okay? I'm a simple man, Chad. I invested 9,000 Starchrome into the Bastille set. So now I will find every single build that works great with Bastille. Try to kill the EX1 boss. It's funny to go with shrapnel. You know what? I like your recommendation. Shall we do this, Chad? Should we quickly kill the EX1 boss? It's a very good recommendation. I actually like your way of thinking. Because I love EX1 as a silo, right? It's one of my favorite silos. But I've never tried the boss on hard mode. It should actually be really funny. You're right about that. Let's go. And then we swap over to the icy vortex. I'm running Bastille 2 with the bingo, but I'm having a hard time setting on a secondary gun. See, and that's where so the advantage of the bingo is that the bingo works with every gun. Because obviously your Cradle buffs for the bingo or something like... There was something with marked enemies. I know there's something with marked enemies, right? Bingo doesn't really have... No, it was steady hand, right? You essentially use steady hand where bullseye gives you more weak spot damage. Ta-da. But the weak spot damage to bullseye works also if you marked an enemy with bullseye and swap over to your soccer, right? So that should actually increase the damage as well of the soccer then, which makes sense. It's the frost shotgun. I was thinking the weapon. There's the frost shotgun. The backfire. Hitting an enemy 5 times, trigger frost vortex, and send the frost vortex with your weapon 1 time. You can't freeze bosses. As far as I know, and I should know, you can't freeze bosses. So the problem is that your weapon is useless versus bosses. That's it. Like that's literally it. Like, right? Congratulations. You have a gun that has no use. It's good for PvP. So like maybe like if you can freeze someone in PvP, cool. Do you not like the wildfire? 6% chance to trigger bullseye when hitting a target. There's a chance to spread bullseye to one enemy within 50 meters. If there are no enemies within weapon damage when hitting a weak spot of marked enemies, attack +3 for 10 times. No, I don't like the Wolfire. I mean, it seems like a cute gun, but I'm just generally not a fan of pistols. They just don't feel good to use. That's just me. Again, that's just me. I don't find pistols fun to use in this game. I mean, we literally have the shrapnel build with infinite ammo right now, where I just point it at an opponent, keep shooting, and I never have to reload, right? So it just feels good. And my gun has more range, and my gun, like, right? I can just position myself nice and blast the boss. And that's like the thing. If you want to use pistols, I think there's nothing wrong with this. Nothing wrong with this. So yeah. Wildfire is a good secondary for shrapnel. Well, I use my favorite secondary is and stays and will always be this sniper, because the sniper works disregarding of everything. So in case you didn't know this, but this sniper always works. You crouch, 40% weapon damage plus. You aim down side, 30% weapon damage plus. You get Fortress Warfare, 25% weapon damage plus, right? And after triggering Fortress Warfare, gain stacks of Brutal Mayhem, which give you weak spot damage plus 25%. So you're getting 30, 25, 25, and 40% bonus damage. Oh, and I forget the mimetic Cradle. So since we are a Fortress Warfare, we get another 40% weak spot damage. So, like, literally with this sniper, just existing, just aiming down 3 seconds, I get, like, over 100% weapon, damage plus, right? Just like that. Like, here, bomb, damage. Fuck you, nerd. and that's like, yay. And no other gun can do that. So sure, you have your bingo. Your bingo is cute, right? But your bingo doesn't get this much damage. Your bingo needs to hit a couple of hits. So if I now fight against a boss that has a certain weak spot, then I just juice up my gun like that to Narnia, and then I just blast that weak spot. That's why I like the gun. That's why the gun is so good. Do hard mode. I can't do hard mode. I cannot do hard mode. This is a phase 2 server, sir. I am sorry. We are currently just testing builds. And the gun is not 10 times upgraded. If I would go into hard mode on a hard server without a 10 times upgraded weapon, I would be an idiot. I don't have the corrosion shotgun, so no corrosion shotgun today, but we'll do icy rain. This is a great area to actually use the gun, right? Because you have to kill all these nerds, but I obviously don't want to reload consistently, so hitting these weak spots here. Oh, that guy just teleported. It's a hard getting used to for me not hitting weak spots. Right? Because you're like so used to always hitting weak spots, and now the game is like, yeah, you know what? Like, if you could just not hit a weak spot, that would be great. You're like, but mom, but dad, like, you just told me that hitting weak spots is how I get the girls. And now, no weak spots anymore. Mom and dad lied to me. General discharge, you some weak spots in your time. Proven once again that our community is old as fuck. Have you tried a Jaws build yet? Like, Jaws might be good, but again, it's a pistol. I'm just generally, like, averse to pistols. It's not that the Jaws is bad, that I think the Jaws is terrible and you shouldn't waste your money on it. I do have the Jaws. I just literally spend 10,000 for the gamble. It's just I don't like pistols. I'm usually a big fan of pistols, especially if they can replace ARs in some way. But I don't know what it is about Once Human. Like, pistols don't make my pee-pee go hard, I guess. There's so much more fun to be had with other guns. I guess it's mostly the range thingy. Like, pistols feel so weird. Like, if I stand 10 meters away from my opponent, they're great. If I stand 20 meters away, they kind of feel weird. Right? That's it. Like I stand a little bit too far away. And with a little bit too far, I mean like 1 meter. Oh, you're hitting every single weak spot. Oh, that's not okay. That's not okay. You're just infinite reload because you're just hitting. So I'm hitting them all, right? So you're even hitting the ones behind. Oh, that's not okay. That's kind of like funny. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like we're just hitting him, and but we're hitting all the other weak spots at the same time. It's kind of cute. Ah! Oh God, I'm getting lasered now. Sir, that's not my name. Okay. Yeah, sure. You could shoot the immune part too and just hit all the weak spots, but I feel like that seems a bit uninspired. Might as well just take one out. But hit the body, yeah, but that makes no sense because you're hitting enough weak spots already, so I might as well hit a weak spot, right? So lucky cause dogs. You say so lucky cause dogs, but I say pretty damn skilled, right, bruh? Fucking giga skill, mate. Bingo with boots create without weak spot mode better than Black Panther. Yes, Hamza, you're absolutely right that the boots for the bingo that create weak spots are good. But if you use for the bingo that creates weak spots, then you can't use another unique item. So I can essentially juice up my Soccer the Last Valor quite a lot with the beret, while still wearing the Bastille set and not needing an 8,000 costing boots, right? You need an 8,000 costing boots, and I can use my Black Panther, which is completely for free, in a Soccer build as an absolute damage juicing gun. So, yeah. If it was no testing, would you use the Predator? Oh yeah, I would probably still use the Predator LMG. So the Predator build is my favorite build. It's just so efficient. It takes every reloading pain out of you. You don't really have to think about much anymore. It's just stupid how well it actually does work and how you don't have to think about the applications. That being said, again, it needs the Oasis mask. So I'm always like, I made the build, I recommended the build, but I'm currently trying to see like a cheaper build, right? For people. Guys, thank you for the 2 months of support. Guys, good to see you there. I mean, if I would ask the chat right now, one more Tiberis, who of you does have the Soccer? Right? Who, if you started playing the game from more or less day one on, I think almost every single player has the Soccer. So having this as a recommendation for hard mode servers, I think is plenty valid. Like I guess every player has the Valor, which is good. Like no hurt feelings, like it's as it should be. Okay, I just need like a crit rate calibration. Can I please get a crit rate calibration? So the only thing I'm struggling with to get currently. I have only this, like, right? And I have, after being shot, automatically reload 1 ammo. By the way, this would also be nice. The energy rifle would actually work for this, right? Toad, they were the 180 bitty titties. Also, key items. Well, you might be right about key items not being like Diablo Mythics, not obtainable. There's a big difference here right now. So telling someone that your build is good. Okay, so like as a build maker, just for you to understand as a creator. So if I tell someone a build is good, and like you only need the Bastille set for it. So the Bastille set I can justify because it works for sniper builds, it works for shrapnel builds, it works for the MG Predator, it works for bounds. Like so the Bastille set works for a lot of things, right? So that's a justifiable buy. But if I now tell you to buy the Oasis mask because, quote, trust me, bro, right? Trust me, bro, it's going to work. That's an 8,000 Starchrome investment that you like, right? There's no alternative to this. Whereas for this build, you just need to do a quest, right? The beret. It does work though. Yes, and there's video proof that it does work, but it's just from the way how you're going through this, right? The way how you're laying out your argument and telling someone that he should use a gun that he anyways has with equipment that he anyways has from doing quests, right? And then you would only need the Bastille set technically, or even the Lone Wolf. So that's also the good part. Like it could be Bastille or Lone Wolf, even though I feel like Bastille does more damage. Sadly, I don't have time to test. Don't have the items to test this. But that brings us back to something I wanted to do with the Icy Vortex right now, because I haven't done the Vortex this time around yet. So I wanted to craft myself a Vortex. And how many upgrades do I have? Because the reason I like the Vortex is it's an operator gun. And getting operator blueprints, like I used quite some already, but you do get some operator blueprints thrown at you. Especially you do get the complete Icy Vortex. So I do think, like, I wasted a lot of the operators already. As you can see, there's like 4, this is 12, this is 21 out of 60. Because I used the operators to upgrade my MG. So I used operators to make my MG4 a 2-star. Does anyone have the Icy Vortex? How many stars do you have it? I think you can make it like 3 or 4 stars on server 2, which is actually insane. I mean, the upgrade pass is quite something, right? Getting that up to 4 or 5 stars is already like a significant boost in damage. You get a 3 stars, you get a 4 stars. That makes perfect sense. The best part about the Icy Vortex is that, again, like what item would you need for the Icy Vortex to really work well? Frost Vortex generates ice spikes that deal frost damage of 100% psi intensity, right? You have this. Right? Everyone has this. Like, I have this, you have this, we have this, everyone has this. Correct? We don't maybe have this. Wait, do I even have the legendary one for some weird reason? I have the legendary one as well, right? No, that's just the Renegade set. I was confusion. I mean, I do have the Shaman top, right? Whenever I pulled the Shaman top, I get lucky. But yeah, you get the Frost Tactical Vest. What do you think about the Bastille set, Renegade set instead of the Bastille set? That's a very easy answer. The Renegade set sucks. I'm going to be mean here, and I'm going to say the Renegade set sucks. Technically. Okay, listen, technically. So the Renegade set bonus is 10 hits, 40% weapon damage. 40% weak spot damage. 10 hits, 40% weak spot damage, okay? You heard me, right? I didn't stutter. And again, the Bastille set is I crouch, and I get 40% weapon damage. From bullet 1 on. Right? Bullet 1. 40%. 10 bullets later, 40%. And if you change target, you even lose them. So if you change the target for a millisecond to blast an ad who's pushing you, you just lose your stacks and build them back up again. Then you lose them, build them back up again. I just crouch and never move and just keep shooting, right? For some bosses, you have to move a bit more. I'm not saying that this is not a black and white, right? This is not a black and white discussion. This is the best of the best. This is always better. There will be scenarios where the Renegade is good. The problem is, and here it comes, okay? The Renegade is weak spot damage plus. And that's bad. Because this is 40% weapon damage, which is always good, right? 40% weapon damage is always good. Lone Wolf said, crit is always crit. It's always crit, no matter what you're hitting. Weak spot damage is only weak spot damage, right? If you're hitting a weak spot, you do weak spot damage. But what if there's no weak spot? What if there's no weak spot? What if you can't hit a weak spot at this very moment? And there's tons of these scenarios where there is like the ags, the weird ass portals you have to shoot. There's always a scenario where you might not be able to hit a weak spot, where things just simply don't have a weak spot. And there's also a weak spot is factually wrong because the ags don't have weak spots, right? Free willing. And the portals also that spawn enemies out, they don't have weak spots too. So it's very few scenarios, but there's scenarios. Canned meat. Oh, I can make my own canned meat, Fana. I don't need your charity. Wait, Fana, you come here, you little shit. Don't you run away. Turn around right now. No, look, you come back. Scammer. Let me scam you back. Here. Wait. We're trading our meat. Here, you can touch my meat now. Do it. You did it. Good. Don't send this to the FBI, okay? Good, yeah. And that's where we're back to the Bastille set, essentially, right? So weak spot is technically good, but practically you just like, no matter how much you want to argue that there's always a weak spot, like if you get a blank damage increase that has nothing to do with weak spots or anything else, that blank weapon damage increase will always be better than weak spot damage increase because it just always works. Good. Now what we wanted to do, I see vortex. Yes. So how does a 3 to 4 star vortex feel? I know it must feel good. We're getting the chest, frost tactical vest as well, because if we're all going to test this, we're going to test this with the free gear that we're getting, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. But here comes my sadness now. So I'm going to put on my helmet, right? We're going for the Bastille helmet, and we're going to swap the chest over. So I still have my Bastille sad bonus, as you can see, right? 3 pieces Bastille sad bonus. But I'm not getting anything out of this. Now, what I wanted to see on this one was calibration. Because you get the attack plus 20, which is useless, right? You don't want attack. You want mag capacity tops plus. Because you technically get infinite mag capacity, right? So you just want to have more to be more. Reload speed is useless. After being shot, automatically reload a bullet. That was also useless for the frost one. After reloading from empty, the next shot is guaranteed to trigger the keyword. That one was also useless, if I'm not mistaken, because as much as you want to just trigger your keyword, right? On this gun, you always triggered your keyword. I mean, it was like Frost Vortex is created auto reload. When Frost Vortex is created, auto reload bullets, and we just want to do crits. Reload is nice on this gun, yeah, but technically, like if Frost Vortex creates, if Frost Vortex is created, you auto reload 15% bullets. So it would be more opportune to have more mag capacity than to reload faster, right? Right, sure, technically you could play this as a reload spam, but practically you could also work on just having more bullets end of the day, right? Because the goal would obviously be to trigger it as often as possible. Yeah, with enough max size, you don't reload. That's the point, right? If you have enough max size, you cannot run out of ammo. So that's the thing. I mean, obviously, this is useless for me right now because it's elemental damage booster instead of crit rate. And you obviously need to boost your crit rate, because if you're not boosting your crit rate with this gun, you're stupid, because crit hits ground at 40% to trigger Frost Vortex. So you need as much crit as possible. And that's my only issue with this gun, because I don't have just the crit rate to do this, right? I essentially have to put off the Bastille set to put on the Falcon set, and then my 2 Bastille set pieces need to actually, like, I mean, I can still wear them because they just give me weapon damage plus, so it doesn't hurt. But yeah, like, technically the Falcon set in this case is better because it's another 5% crit rate. Do you rate the Outer Space? Outer Space is great, but I prefer the Outsider simply because it's a Scar. Okay, so yes, the outer space is great, but this is a Scar, so it's cooler. I mean, it's a Scar. Hello? Look at it. It's a Scar L. It's just cooler. When imagine playing an MP7 or MP7 or a Scar L. Does auto reload count for unreload effect like Lone Wolf crit on reload for PCs? I don't know. What I also don't know is this is working with... There is a calibration that I have that works only on... Yeah, like here. I don't know if this calibration, the after reloading from empty, well, it says from empty. So if you auto reload, if this still counts, but it would only count if we actually go for empty, right? Yeah, so it was after reloading for empty. Sorry, no. That got example. This was not the question I was asking myself. What I was asking myself is resonance. Because we have these mods on my gloves that have here, resonance. So this is the weak spot damage boost resonance. Deal 1 instance of elemental damage and then weak spot damage plus 0.8%. This effect stacks up to 6 times, but I have this also on crit somewhere. Here, yeah, munitions amplifier. Deal 1 instance of elemental damage, crit damage plus 0.8%. This effect stacks up to 5 times and lasts for 6 seconds. I mean, it technically sounds good, but only if you upgrade it. And then it would probably go up to like 1.5% or something. But it feels so useless because elemental damage can't crit. Most elemental damage can't crit. Right? I mean, like, then you're just like status enhancement, crit damage plus 12%, done. Explosive shrapnel. Explosive shrapnel only if you play the cage helmet. Otherwise, useless. So for this one, we need currently. So like, yeah, can Frost Vortex crit? I forget about that. Could Frost Vortex crit? Trap enemies, blah, blah, blah. The additional damage is Frost element and cannot crit. Yeah. This is it. This was the only thing that annoyed me about Frost, like to the max, right? That it couldn't crit. But could the ice spikes from the chest, could they crit? Because your Frost Vortex generates ice spikes that deal frost damage. Can they crit? Resonance for sure is garbage. Resonance is not as good as I would like it to be. That's the sad part, right? So we wanted to have crit rate. Oh, shrapnel weak spot damage needs to be. I always forget what the Frost Vortex symbol looks like. It looks like frost, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. Let's burn. Oh, there, ice. The longer the duration of Frost Vortex, the higher its final damage. Wait, I remember that I only had trash Frost Vortex mask mods. Was there ever a good Frost Vortex good mask mod? The more enemies inside Frost Vortex. Oh no, both are useless. Great. It's actually sad how useless Frost Vortex is, like mod-wise, right? Is there another? I mean, the mass mods are like, both are sad, right? Lingering Frost is useless, like the final damage bonus is useless, and the longer the duration of Frost Vortex. I mean, obviously this gives me Frost Vortex damage, so I wanted. Yeah, if Frost Vortex could crit, like the only like hate I have about Frost Vortex is, again, you're essentially having a gun that needs crit damage or that needs crit chance to trigger Frost Vortex, and you're essentially doing everything to juice up your crit chance, right? So we're gonna put on like the crit rate amplifier in this case because I can, right? And I just have it. So you're doing essentially everything to like boost your crit rate, but it's gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what? Like you might boost your crit rate, you'll shit, but you can't actually do anything with that crit rate. So it's like, fuck you, and then by the way, fuck you again, you stupid shitter. Every 5 bullet, magazine grants weapon damage. No, we didn't want weapon damage. What should you take for status damage? Wasn't there like a straight up status damage increase? For every 10%. No. I don't play too many. Like, this one was needed for elemental, right? When Mac is empty, but Mac is actually never empty. Which one do you even take? This is, by the way, we get the perfect Deadshot resonance, right? We do crits to do more crits to then do actually more Oh, it's kind of cute. Like we do crit rate to just do more resonance, but it's just useless, right? Like it doesn't do anything. Deal instances of crit damage, elemental damage. So he's like, hey, this one would be useful, Chan. This one would be useful because it actually has the right resonance, right? If I deal crit damage, which I would deal because I have crit rate, I would get elemental damage plus. That's the resonance I'm looking for, but not 0.2%. Yeah, like you need so many stacks of resonance to really have it like feel good in any capacity. It just always leads to sadness so far. Honestly, I have messed personally too few with like status damage builds to efficiently sometimes know what to put on status damage things, right? Sometimes just put things on. And what did we have for chest? Yeah, we can keep that for now. I just want to see how much crit do we have. Oh, I need SMG bullets. I don't have any SMG bullets. I forget. Oh, no, I do have SMG bullets, but we're probably going to burst through them like there's no tomorrow, right? Did we take the bonus mag capacity? Oh, no, we didn't. We didn't actually enhance the reload. No, we didn't. Okay, so let's go back here. Yeah, because it's gray resonance, but even purple resonance is not good. No, I feel so too. So it doesn't feel good. Yeah, we do have the status enhancement. We do have the 20% status enhancement too. Like we have the golden status enhancement on the helmet as well. But obviously you need crit. That's like the sad part, right? So you kind of want to take the plus 20% status damage on your helmet, but you cannot take the plus 20% status damage on your helmet. Because if you take the plus 20% status damage on your helmet, then your Icy Vortex is not going to do the crit you need, and you need the crits to trigger the Icy Vortex. So many build options give lackluster performance. Yes, but like the question is not necessarily how bad is the performance. It's more like how much can you still make it work, or what does it take to make it work if you really like it, right? I mean, some people like things despite it not making sense. They're like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of the blue shotgun. And you're like, okay, why are you this way? Right? Why are you yourself? And they're like, okay, I'm like, let's find a build to make that work. I just like the part where you, if you crit enough, like you're just not having to worry about reloads, right? This game that's nice and juiced up. I mean, obviously not having this calibrated now, it's for every of these builds. So I would argue that for the Frost Vortex to feel good, like if you don't have a calibration with crit rate, it just will never feel good. Which is actually sad, right? Like how can it be that we need to get a calibration with crit rate to even remotely feel good? But that's more like down to the gun and how it triggers, right? If the only trigger condition is crit, it just feels bad. Which gear set do you go for? I mean, I don't have the gear set you would need for this. For this, you'd need the elemental gear set. So that's for sure. Because there's no cross synergy between weapon damage gear sets and the elemental damage gear sets. They just don't have any cross synergy. You have the icy rain with the weapon. Yeah, but see, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want the icy vortex to be really good, you need the right calibration with the right, as I said, crit rates and everything to really squeeze the most out of it. Which makes me feel sad because, like, the shrapnel build already felt good, right? So the Soccer Outsider already felt good. Like, even if I put the Soccer Outsider on without anything, pretty much, it would have felt better than the vortex, which just is like, Ice Rain is better 3 times crit stat with the crit damage bonus. Interestingly enough, I disagree because the crit damage bonus is technically useless for you. I would not take... I mean, sure, you want the crit rate that you get from Lone Wolf. But that being said, this is very important, right? Like, you're not getting anything out of the crit rate bonus. Technically, I mean, since technically your damage is meant to be your frost and not your shots, you're actually not gaining much from there. I mean, like, more's more anyways, right? Yeah, with 3 pieces Shelter and 2 pieces Last Whisper, or 3 pieces Falcon on top, or 2 pieces Falcon, to at least get something out of that. Yeah, you just need crit rate, exactly. This is like technically, obviously, your base gun does okay damage as well. But again, crit is additive. So our damage is like 149 per shot. And 149 per shot, no matter how much crit damage you have, is just never going to be impressive. Right? I mean, if you have 100, like that, there's just not much coming out of that. I mean, now if your gun has a very good base damage value, right? If we're talking about the Soccer, which lets you has 361 versus 149. If I now boost my crit damage, especially because Shrapnel also can crit, it makes sense. Or for the Predator, like, even that has only 200. So for this weak spot, it's just way better because the crit juicing just doesn't multiply nicely up again. For shotguns, it always felt good to go for crit because they have like so much good base damage. No attachments on the gun. Oh, sure, we could put attachments on the gun, but it wouldn't really change much, obviously, on the feel of the gun, right? I mean, the only thing you can do is clog your shots a bit better together in the middle. I'm actually missing the respective. I did not get the. No, I'll have okay lasers. This should work. Yeah, would need to have the small break, actually, to boost the accuracy a bit further, because that's what you need, right? Do you have this build written down somewhere? Oh, we already have, like, a full version of the Icy Vortex build for normal servers, which essentially is the same with hard servers, just that we had there also more calibrations and everything. I mean, technically, I should have in my grade... Wait, that's a very good question, guys. Huh. Do I have for my Shrapnel build? The right AR thingy. And by the way, how do you see which one is assault, which one is AR? First the AR. See, that's crit damage and crit rate. These are all useless, obviously. I mean, the attack plus are just useless because, I'm under attack! I'm under attack! I repeat! Under attack. So yeah, I mean, like, it's good to have all these calibrations. I just literally forgot that I have all these calibrations. Oops. Yeah, I have to say that the Vortex just is, like, feels very conditional to me. As, like, all the pieces I need to get together to, like, get it running, right? Just, like, literally put the Soccer on, and it was already doing well. Makes me happy. I just visually really enjoy... I visually enjoy the gun. But I hate the combination of crit being useless. Like juicing crit just to not even juice crit damage as well feels like you're doing yourself such a disservice. Right? Let's go back and kill the elite in this city. Vehicle nearly destroyed. Oh, don't worry, I can destroy it fully. Gotta say, I'm positively surprised by the shrapnel build. I mean, I knew shrapnel wasn't horrible, right? Like, we all know shrapnel isn't horrible. But still, it overperformed beyond expectations. Isn't the icy rain supposed to work really well with just purple gear? Oh, the icy rain works well with just purple gear. That's they're like, it does, sir. Again, though, like, you do need the crit rate. Like, if you don't have a crit rate calibration on a gun that only works with crit rate, then you're just never going to get enough icy vortex. I mean, I boosted my crit rate as much as I can, and I'm getting to 30%. I mean, base crit rate on this gun is 10%. We have another 10% here. And then we get another 15% here, which is weird why it only shows 30, right? Because we get like 10 base crit rate and then 10, there's already 35. And then we get another 5%. So we're going to get like 40% crit rate. If I now had another amplification for crit rate, another calibration, then we would look at another up to 15%. So it's like at, what, 60, 55, 65%? Yeah. I just, like, it's just... A gun that only works on crit, like, obviously needs as much crit as humanly possible. Surprise. There's some more when you hold the gun, should, right? When I pull the gun out, actually. Yeah, there it shows the 40. Ta-da. See, oh my goodness. I need to take a little bit of a... I need to take a little bit, Yes, you can defy gravity. Leave me alone, Chan. I'm unwilling to walk past this because I know the bike just goes up there. I just don't have enough. Jesus Christ. Okay, let me drive up. Came here for one human, stayed for Diablo. Luckily, we do both. Time to Skyrim the wall. Nah, just drive it up. You just need a bit more, you know, not slow speed. They fixed that? No, I did it already today. Didn't fix this, see? There's nothing to fix. We just need a bit more speed. God, that felt weird. Like, right, see, like, I did all these crits, but I didn't trigger a single vortex, right? I mean, obviously, that's the way how chances work. But if you have a 40% chance to trigger, okay? And you have a 40% crit rate. So that means in 40% of the cases that you crit, you only trigger. So your real chance to actually trigger Icy Vortex is 40 of 40, right? Ow. Is 40 of 40, which is not really a lot. That's the first time I actually ever died against this dude. I blame the Icy Vortex, Chan. So you need, like, a lot of crit rain. I think the next phase starts tomorrow. For me, it's another 2 days. So on Wednesday morning, we're going to play phase 3. And for phase 3, I'm like, this is essentially me looking for my phase 3 build that I want to go for. Me looking for the build I want to meld everything with. Right? Did you manage to find any shiny deviations? I will admit that I haven't looked. I haven't looked for deviations in any capacity. So I am terribly sorry, but we've not been paying attention to deviations in any capacity. No. Okay, I'll have to say, as much as I wanted to experiment more with vortex, I am wholeheartedly happy with what we put together with the shrapnel build so far. It just worked so well. Illegally. Still surprised. And we don't even have the calibration, right? So that's the thing. Like, we don't even have the calibration. It feels really good, which makes me happy because, again, the vortex would only feel good with the calibration, and this already does feel good without the calibration. So with the calibration, it will only feel better. Oh, I mean, as soon as phase 3 opens, obviously I'll have everything done. So phase 3 opens, I just kill 3 hard mode bosses. I just fulfill my seasonal goals, like to get the Starchrome, and we're done. Can they explain the 3rd and the 4th buff of the Lone Wolf armor? I mean, obviously, sir, there's no problem. The 3rd buff is kind of self-explanatory. You crit and you get more crits. But give me a second. So for the Lone Wolf, you're literally talking about you get stacks of Lone Shadow with every 2 weapon crits. And Lone Shadow is crit damage plus 6%. And that can stack 8 times. So 8 times 6% after you dealt tons of crits. Oh, and if you get the 4th boost, you get 2 more stacks of Lone Shadows, so now you can stack 10 times 6%. So you can get 60% crit damage and 8% crit rate. And that's why a lot of people are saying Lone Wolf is super worth it. And I wish I had all Lone Wolf pieces to actually test this. But I still prefer the Bastille set for the build, because you literally crouch and you get 40% bonus weapon damage. Just like that, 40% bonus weapon damage. And your shrapnel hits are obviously based off of weapon damage. So the more weapon damage you have, right, the more shrapnel damage you deal. And your shrapnels can obviously crit, but if the base damage is also higher, then your crits are also going to be higher, right? Sir, you never used to do this, so it's an interesting behavior on your side that you're actually coming this close now. Now, like, I would love to just have all the pieces of the Lone Wolf set to actually see what would lead to more damage. It juiced up his HP quite proportionally. Sir, could you just raise your head out of this, because I need to see your head. Hee. I shot your balloon. Sorry, I cannot shoot your balloon when you don't turn around. Hello? Balloon? Is that ever gonna light up? Wait, why? Why could I now shoot you without... Oh, because you're a bug. That one was still lighting. Oh, weird. So do we have an assault rifle thingy that I could pull in for this? That was the question, right? Do I have an assault rifle calibration that I could pull in for this? Because what we need is crit rate, and optimally bonus attack would work for shrapnel as well, right? Yeah, crit rate and bonus attack, because bonus attack would juice the shrapnel too. Correct? The way how I understood shrapnel. So I do only have steady machine gun, this assault rifle. So this would crit damage and crit rate, and is attack plus 25%, but max capacity minus 30. But max capacity minus 30 actually doesn't matter, as we're kind of having infinite bullets as long as we're hitting weak spots. The problem is it only has crit rate 7.5%, right? So that kind of, like, as much as I kind of want to use it, it would be bad. And that's only for MG4. You're right about that. I kind of got robbed. I was so happy to see this, but it was only for MG4. Do I even have legendary assault rifle thingies? I was confused by the assault machine gun. Do I even have? These are all SMG, right? Yeah, they're all SMG. But where's like? I don't have a single one that's actually for. Wow, a scam. Yeah, like that seems much rarer. Like I do have the. What is it? That's heavy assault. Like here, these ones. They're for. I don't have a single one for an AR. I thought I had one for an AR. I don't have a single one for an AR. No. Oh, I have a blue one probably. No, I don't have a blue one. Oh, it's. Oh, it's good to know. So there you go. Like we wanted to check if we had any. The answer is we don't. we don't have a single one, as it seems. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. The assault machine gun is for the AR. No, it says for the MG4 and KVD series light machine guns. It says in there, like as you can read, right? And it does actually say on the calibrations what it's good for, like KV, SBR, MP5, and MPS5, like, right? And if you do actually, like, I do have one calibration here right now. So that is the it does say on a single one here. This is for the cam and soccer. Ladies and gentlemen, cam and soccer. Ta-da! Right, but they suck because obviously they're only elemental damage. I need a crit rate one. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the base soccer is great because it has built-in crit chance. I mean, if you upgrade it enough, right? 10 times calibration. Let's see if we can calibrate it 10 times just to see like just to get the maximum hold of it. And if I upgrade it 10 times now or not, like it comes down to the same, right? Do we have the resources to do this? I might lack the Starchrome to actually pull this off right now. Oh, I'm so lacking the Starchrome to pull this off. Starchrome, the Stardust source. It actually gets really expensive to do this. I mean, tungsten is not an issue because I do have funnily that gazillion tungsten yield. In case you didn't know this, but I got the double tungsten yield. Which is actually crazy. So now with this gun being 7 times upgraded, Chad, let's go to my favorite dungeon route once again. And let's eat the meat too. So like since Chad just was right about this, but if you actually do want to play a shrapnel game, right? If you want to play a shrapnel gun, it's so easy to get a weapon bonus because here, max stamina plus 40, base effects of all dishes plus 30%, and this one is just simply giving you character increases shrapnel damage by 20%. Ta-da! Nom nom nom. Another thing that speaks for shrapnel, like I'm not trying to sell shrapnel here because it's selling itself, but you know what speaks for shrapnel as well? You know which is the best deviant for combat? That's your Hound. The Hound is just the best one because it's tanking. Well, the thing about the Hound is that he actually boosts your weapon damage, right? So with my set now, or with my Bastille set actually boosting my weapon damage, and with my Hound boosting my weapon damage, right? That's, by the way, where I like shrapnel versus these Ags, because usually killing this Ag is atrocious, but shrapnel just triggers on crits, right? Shrapnel has no trigger condition but crit. So as long as I'm hitting these nerds, I mean, obviously I'm not getting my reload, right? So if I shoot the Black Ulker, I'm missing out on the reload that you would be getting, which does feel shitty. But I'm like haven't reloaded the gun now a single time in the dungeon so far, right? Just like getting the whole boost here from existing. If we only could get Deviant active for longer, if your Deviant is having a high, wait, there's skill rating and there is the other rating, then he's active longer? No, he gets power back longer, right? No, what? I don't know what the other rating actually gave again. Like, I only know, like, you want skill rating, obviously, for maximum damage. The other one was for, yeah, for productivity deviants to get mood back faster. Like, you can only get mood back faster. You can't get them activated longer, right? Sounds so funny when you're running out of bullets, but you're actually not running out of bullets, right? That's probably the only downside of the one weapon mod, that you would be, not getting bullets back when you're shooting this thing. Boop, 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 boop. Is shrapnel status damage or dependent on weapon damage? Only dependent on weapon damage, and it can crit. Okay. So no status damage, no blaze, no frost, no whatever. Just weapon damage, weak spot damage, crit damage. All these kind of things do help with shrapnel, obviously. Kind of nice, not gonna lie. This thingy here has so many weak spots, it's not even funny anymore. I mean, it has a weak spot up front, it has a weak spot on top, it has a respot left, right, and center, and yes, we didn't have to reload a single time here. I mean, again, this is just very easy, and by the way, if you wonder why I'm using my controllers, because I want Stardust. Okay? I need Stardust. I'm sorry. Higher level Hound, higher weapon damage. Yes, my Hound is only level 2. That's 21% weapon damage. And a level 5 Hound has 43% weapon damage. You heard right, Chad. 43 plus 43% weapon damage with a level 5 Hound. So farming the Shadow Hound to get a very high level Shadow Hound is truly worth it. You burned out on the game so bad. Like, I did limit my game time this season. I mean, last time at this point, I've had almost 100 hours already. Right now at this point, I'm sitting more at like, what, 20 hours maybe? 25 tops? So I did take it vastly slower this season simply due to personal enjoyment and, well, I'm having done everything already, right? So I do everything more efficient. I do everything smarter and better. And it's not only saving me time, it's also like giving me bonus happiness because I can use my brain to beat the game now with the amount of bonus knowledge I acquired. Almost ran out of bullets. Like, see, like now what are you gonna do? Are you gonna hit him like in the shoulder to actually hit him in the head, right? Because you kind of don't want to shoot him in the weak spot, because if you shoot him in the weak spot, your shrapnel can't hit the weak spot. So you kind of like need to shoot him in the shoulders so your shrapnel can actually hit the weak spot. And that feels so weird. That's why I'd rather like pull out my sniper and actually do the insane sniper damage that you can deal. Yeah, but we definitely need more weapons to get more calibrations. Or I need to buy a calibration from someone. Yeah, you still shoot them in the head, but this is where I really do like the sniper, because again, like it's plus 120% weapon damage plus. The butterfly is not bad. But I think the butterfly only increases weak spot damage, doesn't it? So it's literally like only the damage you do to the weak spot, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas the Hound is just a straight up increase to your weapon damage, and then everything else gets multiplied up. So if you do more damage into a weak spot, that's nice. But if your weapon does more damage, you also do more damage into a weak spot, and your crits also go higher, right? Yeah? Did you get more Starchrome and PvE from the Prime Wars too? No, the Prime Wars are currently 800 Starchrome per, then 1,200 Starchrome per, 1,600 and 2,000, if I'm not mistaken, completely. That amount of Starchrome was not increased by the hard server. But getting the amount of Starchrome in PvE servers is way easier than getting the Starchrome in PvP servers, I feel like. Right? Yeah. And you have to do PvP, right? so in order to get the Starchrome from PvP servers, right? You have to do PvP. Oh shit, my wife just sent me a message. $8.5k in PvP server, some purification. Yeah, like you can do that chaos purification thingy if I'm not completely mistaken, right? What's your mass mod? My mass mod is currently precision. But that's because we are doing maximum reload efficiency. Okay, so shrapnel, weak spot, hit weight plus 100% means that the bonus shrapnel hits I'm getting from the beret are more likely to hit weak spots. And if they're more likely to hit weak spots, then I am more likely to get my bullets back to essentially not have to reload. What's your opinion on 4 pieces of Bastille set? I generally don't like 4 pieces of any set. There's no set where the 4 pieces make more sense than getting the 2 set piece bonus of something else. Maybe Lone Wolf is the only one where I see it actually making sense. For the Bastille set, getting 3 seconds after exiting Bastille state, gain 1 stack of armor per second up to 60 stacks. While in Bastille state, each stack of armor provides a shield equal to 1% of max HP. If the shield drops to 0 during Bastille state, you gain a 30% vulnerability effect. So this would assume that you're actually leaving Bastille state, right? And in some of the boss fights, I just don't leave it ever. And even after leaving it, you just get some weird armor and HP bonus that mostly is not in any way beneficial because, like, if you're then running around, you're just avoiding damage or shooting. So it's just like the whole bonus in the current state of the game doesn't make sense, especially when you would play in a team. So we're saying, like, if you do Leo Labs later, you're gonna do it with 3 other people. Like there's maybe a handful of people who care about doing Leo Labs solo. That's not like the Bastille set bonus just seems like a waste, right? In every regard. The 4th piece of Shelterer really bumps up your damage. Let's see. Do I have the... Where's Shelterer? Renegade, Lone Wolf, Savior, Shelterer. So that was Deviant Energy. Grant 2 additional stacks when hitting a weak spot. I mean, that's like the Shelterer has the advantage that you actually get the stacks faster. Because as you're saying, you get 1 stack whenever you hit with a weapon. So you have to at least hit 20 times with a weapon to have the maximum amount of stacks, right? So granting 2 additional stacks when hitting a weak spot seems very good as you just get the stacks faster. The problem is that the Shelterer is kind of useless against normal mobs, you know? Because against normal mobs, you just don't have the staying power to really get the maximum effect of the Shelterer, correct? It's actually the problem with a lot of the sets, like the same actually goes for the Renegade. Right, if you fight standard mobs, like standard mobs that are just against you, until you actually have the full effect here, right? Kind of like, yeah. So I can see where the 4 stacks can feel good there. Yes. Generally, I think 3 is mandatory, 4 is optional. Correct? Want to have canned meat? I have canned meat, sir. We're just 8 canned meat. We just went on our canned meat arc. Do you need the gear? You don't need the gear, but why would you not have the gear? If you are on a hard server, you should have enough Starchrome to at least get yourself one whole set. So the question is not of a need. It's just like, why wouldn't you have? Right? What else do you want? Like, so what else do you want to have? Counter question, right? What else? What else would you be going for? If you're playing the normal server, you're getting around, like your first novice server gives you around 40 to 50,000 Starchrome in total. I think with everything, like with all the bonuses, with all the events, with filling everything out, I think we're looking at like almost 60k Starchrome, right? With 6 weeks of purification, like with the bonus from doing the campaign the first time, signing up your Discord server, all the events we have gotten, like it's around 60k. So what are you gonna use 60k for? Right? Are you gonna be? Are you like? Did you buy yourself like every single weapon in the store? I mean, sure. I mean, 60k Starchrome is like, I'm gonna buy 8 weapons and that's it. Right? I mean, what did I do currently? Like I did waste some, so I wasted some on gambled, so at least 20k is gone on gambled. I bought myself the Predators, so that's 8k. I bought myself the Raining Cash, which was a mistake, so that's 16. That was a waste. The rest of the golden guns I have is from gambling, essentially, even though I had to gamble 10k for this. And yes, I do have myself the hammer, which I don't really want. So that's 18k for that. Then I bought myself the Oasis mask, which is also another 8k. So that's already 24 lost to this. Then we get the like 4 pieces of the Bastille set. So that's 36k. And yeah, we lost some money to gambling. That's for sure. It's never a waste to gamble. You get fragments for start. It's always a waste to gamble. Yes, you get fragments, but you always get the wrong fragments. Also, blue fragments are not really worth it. I mean, if you're lucky and you gamble for 3k and already get all the legendary things, that's cool. I mean, I literally went for an armor gamble just to get 3 armor pieces from random sets, and I was lucky to get them in the first 2,000 Starchrome, so that was easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? You want to amp your damage as much as you can? Well, amping up your damage as much as you can really depends on your build. If you're playing any kind of weapon damage based build or crit based build, you can go for Lone Wolf or Bastille set, right? If you're going for an elemental build, you might be thinking about the Shelterer, and then you should obviously look at the respective unique item because you can only wear one unique item: mask, gloves, pants, boots, helmet, chest, for your respective build. Eagerly waiting for you to get the 4 pieces of Lone Wolf so I can see the Bastille Lone Wolf comparison. See, I would genuinely love to have the 4 sets of Bastille to the 4 sets of Lone Wolf to truly like check that against the Bastille. It's just like from how I know that the game works from a damage multiplier perspective, technically juicing up your weapon damage will always be better than juicing up your crit damage. Because your crit damage, like your weapon damage multiplies, your crit damage works weirdly additive. Not completely multiplicative as you would expect, especially when you do a weak spot. So if I do a weak spot hit, right? Weak spots hits always amplify your damage. But a weak spot crit does not multiply. Yeah. So if you take a sniper, for example, right? And I would be hitting a weak spot hit. And the weak spot hit would be going for quite some damage. Let's say we do 20,000 damage, right? With a weak spot hit. And then if you're hitting a weak spot and you're critting at the same time, then you would expect your weapon damage to be doubled. And then again, like the whole thing should crit and go crazy. But that calculation, for some reason, so critting a weak spot is additive. Yeah. Ta-da. That's a bit of a sadness, I'm honest with you. Okay, we need more Stardust. Oh yeah, I could just buy Stardust from the lady. You know what? We just gathered a lot of tungsten. Let's quickly drive to the lady. What's your opinion on the power surge build? Well, I don't like the SMG, so that already excludes most power surge builds. And I tried the Outsider, but Shrapnel just overperforms over the Outsider. I mean, my problem again also with the Outsider is like it technically triggers more if you crit more. So the Soccer Outsider, right? If you crit more, you trigger more power surge, but power surge in itself can't crit if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, feels bad. I did try using Outside with a crit build, and it's not bad. It's by no means bad. Just that the Shrapnel build just feels so much better again. The AK with Frost Nova. Is it better than the Soccer? Actually, not dabble with the AK Frost Nova, but there was a good reason why I didn't. I know there's a reason why I hated the AK with a Frost Nova. Let's see if I can reaffirm that hate. Oh, it was this one, yeah. I think the only gripe I had with it that you had to hit weak spots. Right? Because hitting enemies 20 times triggers Frost Vortex. The closer the center of the Frost Vortex, the higher the Frost Vortex damage. Frost damage plus 30%. Hitting weak spots counts as 2 hits. So as soon as you can't hit weak spots, like it already underperforms. Yeah, that was the reason. But like literally the only reason, right? So I'm always like looking at the respective trigger conditions. I haven't tried it out, right? I tried it out. It's just simply like where I'm like, no, I don't like that I have to hit a weak spot for that. Are there any viable build with the new calibrations? None of the new calibrations, at least I have gotten, has been so outstanding. Right? Because it's saying damage. Oh, I'm not saying it's bad, Vlad. I'm not saying it's bad. Just not every boss always has weak spots for you to hit, including the spider. I guess I'm just traumatized by the spider trying to kill her with a sniper, right? It's just like for me, the AK is as soon as you're not hitting a weak spot, it's underperforming. That means if you're hitting weak spots, it's performing good. But as soon as you're not hitting one, it's underperforming. Where other guns just always perform. Okay, I need to waste my Stardust, my thingies to buy myself 247 Stardust. That's such a wasted. I like feel so bad to do that. I don't even want to consider doing this. Oh, you know what? How I can get Stardust so I can buy myself more Starchrome. You know what? This reminds me of something, chat. You know what we could do to get more Stardust easy? You know what? The easiest way is to get Stardust. The fastest and easiest way. Problem is it's a one-time thingy. Can we knock them all out? All processing mean fragments, it's a good thing, right? But usually just doing the morphic crates quickly. It's generally like an easy way to gain Stardust, just knocking out morphic crates. If you haven't done so yet, it's a one-time thingy, but at least you can just get like on your own pacing a lot of Stardust. That's what I usually do. If I really need some, right, and if I can't really be bothered, then I just knock that out. Silo spam stun of Stardust, yes, they work too. But I like running to morphic crates. And at least like it gives me a loop that's fun. You know? It's like you get around a bit in the world. You're not just mindlessly hammering your face in a dungeon. You get at least a bit sense of explorations. But yes, knocking out dungeons is also highly good. So what's the morphic crates? Well, you look at your blinky light, then you snap your fingers, then you see the morphic crate, and you're like, bam, 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 bam. And then you kill the morphic crate. As you kill this little shit, he'll be giving you not only Stardust, also Stellar Planula. So the reason why you do these is actually not the Stardust, it's the 11 Stellar Planula. Why is the 11 Stellar Planula so important? Because these respective Stellar Planula allows you to go to Severin, and Severin for 800 Stellar Planula sells you 4K Starchrome. So you do actually need quite some Stellar Planula. And I never have it. I don't do enough side quests to actually have Stellar Planula, so I am a terrible person. I don't know if you do enough side quests, but I've never in my whole goddamn playthrough ever gotten that natively. I have been always forced to, at some point, start the consideration of, hey, might as well have to begin blasting morphic crates. Dear morphic crate, could you stop? Why are you running? I've never had one of these just run around. So yeah, I had 900 from last season. See, like, sir, you've been doing more quests than me. I just, this is like my way to get Stellar Planula in the end, right? I just easily knock these out, just get that together. Because it's just like a very no hassle approach, and it's Starchrome. Damn it, you finished all side quests. Well, you know what the good thing is? If you finished all side quests, you could actually finish all side quests straight away again. It's really funny that your work in the first season makes your second season vastly easier, because I did barely finish any quests. If you go into my task inventory, right? Oh, wait, Jane. So if you go into my task inventory, horrible, right? Horrible. Like I have like this one I could finish for 7, and this one I could finish for 7 as well. But all these quests here, I'm a terrible person. I've barely done any side quests. I suck. Genuinely suck. There is a morphic crate with a second white bar in the level 30 area, Iron River, probably, and does insane damage. Well, so the thing that you met is a super anomaly. Super anomaly are juiced up units that are either balance or void, right? If they're balance or void, you need to shoot them with a balance or void gun, aka power surge or wibbity wobbity. What the fuck is the amount of pollution here? Holy mother of pollution. Why? So yeah, and then you just have to either pick up the specific mimetic Cradle juice to get him killed, or have the right elemental damage ready, like shrapnel or so, to actually take him out. Yep. I hope that made sense. I don't think it made sense to myself, but that's what you need to do. I've done a decent bit of quests. A majority of Morphics, not even 200 left after buying. Yeah, so you need the Stellar Planula essentially twice. That's the whole thing, right? So you need 800 Stellar Planula in season 1, and then if you go to hard server, you need another 800 Stellar Planula. And I would assume that no matter what new region we're getting, so this is very important. Listen up, chat. No matter what new region we're getting, I would assume that we get Severin again next region as well. So we would probably need another 800 Stellar Planula. I mean, I just can't see the need for Stellar Planula not being there, because we'll probably just have to get it again. Wait. A blinky light blinked for a second. Wait, where do I have to go? In, out, left, right? Which direction do you have to go? Downwards. Oh, downwards? Yeah. Sometimes it reacts like so slow that my brain just doesn't compute. Oh, there it is. Jesus. Yes, these are actually doing damage, the level 61s, right? That one just for some reason rinses me. Wolf, eat it! I'm not gonna get killed by a stupid chest. Seriously. See, that's all the Stellar Planla, and now I can get myself the next 400 Starchrome. Just have to kill these two, and then we're good. Then we can upgrade our weapon further. Uncompleted quests don't become simplified. Exactly, only completed quests. The Ancient One event gives you 130 Stellar Planla. What? That is such a good thing. That makes life so much easier, because then you at least are assured to get 400 Stellar Planla in 4 different phases if you can do it every week. At least once. I wasn't aware it gave so much. Well, I'll be damned. Oh. Well, I guess I'll just have to do the Ancient One then now one single time. We're getting to it. I mean, mainly because I've just been too lazy to actually make my way to that spawn point of the event, right? What map were you using to find these? Oh, just the Map Genie map. It's mapgenie.io/oncehuman. But I'm actually not using an interactive map. I am a very humble, giga-brained, super 400 IQ gamer. I remembered the position of every single one of these. Oh, you think we're using an interactive map? No, I just remember the position of all of these. I've done it one single time. I saved it, right? Eidetic memory thingy. Like, I don't know how that was actually called. Super memory. Okay, giga memory. Like, I'm fucking smart and humble, right? Yeah, it's like, I'm just that good. Subscribe to Ponyhoff right now. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm wrong. See, like, I remembered all the positions, but I'm still wrong because they're actually down here. Should be down here. I'm stream strapping your morphic crates. No, it's like, it's okay. Friends. Wait, is it up? Is it down here? Up there? Should be down here. Oh no, it should be. Wait, am I correct? I'm wrong. No, wait. I think I'm wrong. No, I'm correct. No, it's weird. The other wasn't. Yeah, but like either it's here or not. It's here. I'm not crazy. See? I blinked. I'm not crazy. Chat. Is it upstairs? See, I'm not completely crazy. It's up, isn't it? Nope, that's getting slower. Not up. Yeah, they moved them a tad, right? So I know it was here somewhere. Weird. I'm just really bad at understanding if the light like gets harder or lower. Is it bucked into the stone? Could be unfortunate. And now it's faster. This is the fastest we've gotten so far, right? Give him to me. It should be up. Yeah, it should be up right at the corner if I'm not completely wrong. Be kind of like here. It's not. See? Not even heavily blinking here. We're gonna have to find the other one that's around here. There it is. Why ever he's suddenly there? Make it make sense. I told you I'm blind, partially blind. I mean, this just proves it, how much eyesight minus we're actually having. Okay, next one is next to the bend right there. That's like a one-time thing you just go through after you remember the spot of everything, right? Oh no, mistakes were made. Please don't blow up on me! No, bike! I love you. Of the Diablo and the What's Human content, and I'm not planning to stop. I mean, obviously, for like, we gotta be real, for this season, there's not too much content to make anymore. I mean, we're week 2 of another 6 weeks. I mean, there's possibly to check out how hard is Leah mode in hard mode, really? How hard are hard mode dungeons, really? But there's not too many knowledgeable videos to make if we're honest about this, right? Like we've mostly tapped into most base spots, most builds, most everything. There's not much more to discover on the discovery spree, right? Like more or less everything has been discovered already. Did they move this one as well? Because it should be like straight up here. Yeah, next season is going to blow up. Exactly. So the game is going to slow down. Everyone is like going to do less content. So this is like just a natural evolution that will happen. And you shouldn't be sad about this. So this is very important. Like don't be sad if like there's less streamers, if there's less stream, because if there's nothing to stream about, like it gets like, it feels bad to then like spend too much time in the game, right? Especially if you can't like give people anything new, because it just ends up like being the same, right? So there's not much more knowledge to share. I mean, we'll definitely be doing the hard mode Prime Wars, because they're obviously interesting. I want to see like how hard are hard mode Prime Wars. So that's something I'd like to look at. But that's like one day of stream, right? Elrom, thank you for the brand new subscription, by the way. Sorry if I missed that. The content creator drama vids come soon. Very intriguing. They don't. So usually this is the, like, if content starts going slow, people start doing drama videos. No, I am very surprised. There's many once human content creators, many good ones. But there hasn't been like once human suddenly bad, the game is dying. Like all the things wrong with once human. Like creator X is lying to you. My build is better than his. You know, all this kind of stuff. Nah, I mean, surprisingly or unsurprisingly, things are actually really drama-free around the game. I mean, there was obviously still the beginning drama about the privacy policy because people just have like 0 brain cells and are dumb as fuck. I said it, I'm not taking it back, Chan. I mean, you probably get deceived by a Twitter post or by a Reddit post and some people just steering up a Rookus where there is no Rookus, right? That's that. That's just like literally the only drama the game had. And then obviously people not understanding how seasons work. And it's okay if you don't understand seasons or don't like seasons, but it's literally like, oh no, I'm going to lose all my things every 6 weeks. No, you're not. And it's not 6 weeks. It's 8 weeks. And you're not losing everything, right? Like the amount of comments you still get on YouTube about, I'm not going to play this because I'm scared of losing my stuff. And you're like, sir, but you're not losing your stuff. That's probably the same people that play on Eternal server in Diablo. No hate, but I don't see how people play on Eternal servers. I'm sorry. When you literally have the option to like engage and enjoy games in new manners and new ways every single time. And you just ignore that. I didn't understand it until I watched your videos, and that's okay. Like, there's a difference between not understanding and hating, or not understanding and looking for information, right? I mean, imagine you don't understand something, and your first reaction is hate. Instead of, I don't understand something, I should seek out more information. Because I'm literally lacking crucial information. And that's why, like, I'm gonna look for said information. No. Obviously, the first reaction is make a hateful post somewhere, right? I mean, like every reasonable person would do. Just let me check my notes again. Why would you ever try to be reasonable? It's so funny, like, we're so close to being out of ammo, but then you're not. I mean, I remember there's actually one short going around. Wait, like, I don't know if you've seen this short. There was a creator who thought he's smart. Okay, wait, like, this is no hate on the creator. Fuck, can I find it? Once human is already failing. Because, like, there was this short of the guy. It has popped so many times up. I don't know if you've seen this short. It's months ago. It has like 50. Don't hate on the creator. Sorry, like, for showing you K-dubs. So he made this short. Like, the game came out, right? And there was some review bombing happening because people didn't understand the privacy policy, right? And he literally took the one single comment about privacy policy and pay to win something, like, because someone made a pay to win comment. And he thought this was like, this is going to be the short, right? This is going to be like a 1 million view short. Like, he pulled a Giga, like, this was Giga smart to do. And the fun part is everyone is like trashing him in the comments about the game not being pay to win. Yeah, he went for the clickbait, and it's like, bro, the game is not pay to win. Like, you know, the privacy policy works like this. Like, he literally get absolutely bashed in the comments, and the short, like, completely failed. Then again, like, it's still a 50k view short, so it might have, like, actually gotten him views, but it just didn't do good for his brand. But it was just like, there's so many videos that started, like, very early on. You just got a Wolf 4 and 3 stats. Let's go. They really jumped on this hate bandwagon very early on until, like, it just came out that the hate was unwarranted. But it's funny, if you Google once human, this is one of the first videos that will pop up to you. I've seen this now on multiple accounts, like incognito mode, VPN, and whatsoever. That video just gets shoved down my throat so many times. It's intriguing. I just got a shrapnel mod souvenir with 9 crit damage HP grade 1s and elite 1s. I think I might try that out. So don't understand me wrong, okay? So the damage of, like, I can show you my test I did, okay? So Shatter Them All is great. Shatter Them All gives you amazing bonus damage. There is nothing wrong with using that mod. Because, and here it comes again, we're talking burst versus consistent damage. And that is a scenario question. For example, if you're fighting the, what's the dude called again? If you're fighting the Forsaken Giant, top left corner, going to be available in stage 4. If you're fighting the Forsaken Giant, you have limited windows to do damage, right? You can hit his weak spot X time before his weak spot is not hittable anymore. Now, if you're going to take the mod that reloads your bullets, right? That's kind of useless in that scenario, because what does it help me to reload bullets against the Forsaken Giant when I can't do damage anymore versus him? If I'm now taking the mod that would incrementally increase my damage, at least for the given damage window I have, then that would be better because I would be doing more damage for the given damage window. Right? Yeah. By the way, why are we running? Because my bike is broken and I really didn't want to teleport back to repair it. So yeah, that's why we're running. I'm sorry. Okay, like there should be another thingy here. The last morphic crate I wanted to gather before I teleport back. Because, oh, there it is. Told you. So yeah, we're going to teleport to the base, and I'm going to show you my philosophy on the Shadow Them All versus Souvenir. Is the cage helmet? Nope, sorry, thank you. Okay, that is all the planetary I wanted, so let's teleport back. Let's repair my bike first, because I'll forget about it and then I'll be annoyed about myself because I forget about it. I'm gonna literally forget about it like 20 times in a row. Okay, so let's go back to the statue, to the thing quickly. Good. So we have the souvenir mod. Okay, we have souvenir currently on, and souvenir gives me a bullet whenever I hit a weak spot. And since I hit weak spots, I can just go here, right? I can just go and just go and just go and just go and just go, and we do damage and damage and damage and damage and just do more damage. Okay, cool. So I'm still not out of bullets, right? We do more damage. Now, again, this is like, how long did I shoot? I shot 4, like if we're counting this down, right, it's 2, 3, 4. Sorry. So you're like for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're shooting like over 10 seconds, right? And you don't always get a 10-second shooting window. Like I could probably shoot 30 seconds while standing still. And you're just not getting these shooting windows of 30 seconds against every single boss. I mean, if I was fighting the Leah Labs bosses and I was playing in a team, I could get this, correct? Leah Labs bosses standing still, I could get this. Now, I'm sometimes also playing solo. So if you play solo, then you're going to take this weapon mod here with the weapon damage bonus, probably, yeah, here. So we're going to take the Shadow Them All, which gives me more damage, right? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna fight against the boss, right? He's gonna be in position. We crouch down, we aim, we shoot. Not on the weak spot though. And we blast our magazine empty. Then we're gonna reposition. We're gonna put ourselves in position, crouch down, shoot our magazine empty again. Then reposition, reload, go to the next. Right? I guess this makes sense to you, right? What we're doing. So instead of doing like a consistent stream of DPS, depending on what boss we're fighting against, you're gonna just go for the damage opportunities to then get the most damage possible out of it. Also, Prem, greetings to India. Good to see you there. And that's where I would say the whole thing between Shadow Them All and Souvenir comes in, pretty much. You could technically play Shrapnel Smash, but Shrapnel Smash only works with the cage helmet. Because Shrapnel Smash says triggering shrapnel guarantees crit rate. And that's also good. But the thing is that triggering shrapnel means that you actually need to trigger it. And the beret doesn't trigger it, so you do need the cage helmet to actually trigger it more. That means the use of this mod is essentially just really down to actually using that one helmet. And if you're not using the helmet, it's useless. Make sense? Why not the firefighter helmet? Same point here. So now, and now to crown the whole thing, coming back to the firefighter helmet, I don't have it, okay? So it says max shrapnel target parts 1. That means you're only hitting one max shrapnel target, and it gives shrapnel damage plus 120%. So 120% is great, but you only have one shrapnel ever, okay? So in consideration now that you would use this mod, so if you're now using the 20th shrapnel is explosive and deals 300% damage as a critical hit, with the gas-tight helmet together might actually make sense, because then it does work very well. Now, if you're actually also playing the crit thingy, sure, it might work too with the crit thingy. But let's say you're playing this. The more parts shrapnel hits, the higher the shrapnel damage. Doesn't make sense, technically, with a gas-tight helmet. The same actually goes with this. When shrapnel hits a weak spot, automatically refill a bullet. Is better with a beret because you hit more weak spots and reload more bullets. Technically, though, because you could also take the shrapnel souvenir together with this one, because shrapnel weak spot hit plus 100% and shrapnel weak spot damage plus 25%. So if you get shrapnel weak spot damage plus 25% and then the shrapnel damage plus 120%, that also works together to actually give you more damage. So yes, you can play the gas-tight helmet, but you have to play it in a certain way, correct? You can't play it like you're essentially like, if you have the helmet, you need the respective mod, and then it can work. And obviously the helmet costs 8K. right? You know what the beret cost me? Nothing. Nothing. It was for free. Ta-da. And it's a Wanderer blueprint, so I can actually take the beret now, right? And I can go here, and I can be, oh, yeah, beret. Cool. That is now a upgraded beret. Wibbity wobbity. That was really cool, isn't it? Here, 2-star beret. I'm so good. I mean, obviously, I've been funneling most of the things into my Oasis mask, but my Oasis mask is already 4 stars. I do not have the means, even if I funnel everything in, to actually get it higher starred. So I might as well just sit there, actually, and just take my stupid helmet here, my beret, which does actually do very good, and just feed this up higher, as like I do have all these free blueprints to offer, and just get this one easily at least upgraded to 4 stars. I mean, I could just make it 5 stars because I just feel like it, right? Here you go. Ta-da. We made it 5 stars because we could. Whee! Why are you not playing your MG4 build? I like my MG4 build, but I'm a content creator and I also like to make content, so there we go. I mean, the MG4 build is, again, my strongest build in existence. There's nothing better I can build, but I'm also still missing the perfect mod for it. So, like, ask me, chat, ask me. Am I missing the perfect mod for it? I am. And it's the Blitzkrieg mod. I do actually have the Blitzkrieg mod in Golden. Since when do I have this in Golden? Well, now we need to make the MG build too at some point. But seriously, since when do I have this in Golden? I've been waiting for this. Wow. That's great. I've been waiting for you. What's the mod? It's called the Blitzkrieg. Can I upgrade this to a higher rarity? Can I make a mod conversion? Weapon mods. Fast gunner. No! Armor mods. Mask. I'm missing 1 single Blitzkrieg, I think, to upgrade this. Yeah, no, I got 1 out of 3. See, I need to miss 2 more to actually upgrade this. Yeah, the spider drop. Can it be that the spider drop did? I mean, I've never before had the Blitzkrieg mod, right? I've been looking for this now. Why is this mod so important? I can actually explain, chat, and I can iterate what makes this mod so vastly insane. So how does Fast Gunner work? Fast Gunner stacks 5 times for 5% damage and 5% fire rate. Now, if you get the Blitzkrieg mod, I get 5 more stacks, which makes it 10 stacks in total with another 1% fire rate per stack. So that's now 10 stacks with 10% more damage, and instead of 5% more fire rate, it's 20% more fire rate. But we're not done, chat. We're not done. Because that would be now 10% more damage and 20% fire rate. But if you're now taking the Oasis mask, you're getting another 10 stacks with 10% more attack, with 1% more attack per stack. So we are in total, instead of having 5 stacks, we would have 20 stacks. And these 20 stacks are 40% more fire rate and 40% more attack. That does sound good, doesn't it? Best fast gunner weapon. There is not a best fast gunner weapon. There's the only fast gunner weapon, and that is the MG4 Predator. Because the MG4 Predator says now 40% chance to trigger fast gunner and hit. When fast gunner stacks reach a multiple of 5, gain infinite ammo for 0.5 seconds. What does that even mean? Oh yeah, whenever fast gunner stacks reach a multiple of 5. So you're getting 5, 10, 15, 20 stacks, and you have 20 stacks. So you have 4 instances of actually getting infinite ammo, and hitting the same target consecutively grants weapon damage plus 2% per hit up to 40%. What? You're telling me that the gun gets 40% weapon damage plus? Yes, I'm telling you, and it gets infinite ammo. And when the remaining bullets is more than 50% of the magazine capacity, attack is plus 40% too. So the gun gets 40% weapon damage plus 40% weapon damage plus Bastille said 40% weapon damage plus the fast gunner stacking from the Cradle plus 40% weapon damage plus. plus the fast gunner attack of 40% plus for having 20 stacks of fast gunner, and the 40% fire rate plus for fire rating. And then since we're not done with the fast gunner fast gunning around, you can also take a weapon mod, because that was just your mask mod, right? We haven't actually talked about weapon mods yet. Because then you can actually go for fast gunner, and you can look at your weapon mods, which actually gives you a chance to trigger more fast gunners if you feel like it, or you prolong the duration of fast gunner being active every single time, and you get a 15% weapon damage when fast gunner is active, or if you do feel like it, you could get 45% more weak spot damage. Yeah, or when triggering fast gunner, the weapon damage is plus 1.5%, and that stacks 20 times, so you could get another 30% weapon damage. Because why would you not get another 30% weapon damage? Like, yeah. That's kind of like the thing where the MG actually goes crazy, because you're just like, oh yeah, I'm going to build a castle out of things, and I'm going to stack these things higher and more and more and more and more. So yeah, that's kind of like how the Predator works. What calibration do you use for the Predator? I have never had a good calibration for the Predator. You would probably go for crit rate, because the gun hits so many times that even having a decent crit rate might still give you damage. But I've never had like a assault rifle calibration where it was like, this is it, right? This is what I would need for it. I mean, you got the stability plus, but that is useless, obviously. So you could get the stability plus the crit rate. You could technically consider going for, what was it? Attack plus 25%, but magazine capacity down. I didn't like this because the more mag you had, the more chances you have to go infinite ammo. And the more magazine you have above 50, the more damage you have. So I think it would actually be better to increase the mag capacity instead of decreasing it. So technically you could boost the mag capacity by another 60%, because if you boost the mag capacity by another 60% on the gun, it might be worth it. I mean, technically, you could boost the fire rate too, but the gun already has insane fire rate. So, like, right, the LMG already has insane fire rate. Like, right, we do have, but more is more, right? I mean, we're having an MG that has all the attack damage bonuses. So like, you just heard what for attack damage bonuses I just told you, right? The machine gun all has. So if you technically give the MG then even more attack damage, then you get more damage, right? Like I just like 160% weapon damage plus is assured already. You get 160% weapon damage plus. So why would you not then just take even more fire rate, right? It will devour ammo though. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. The gun doesn't mind devouring ammo because it does have 100 plus bullets in it. Okay, and you get infinite ammo. Okay, so the thing about the MG is, again, like the MG4 Predator, just to come back to the point, that it has multiple instances for 0.5 seconds. So whenever fast gunner stacks reach a multiple of 5, gain infinite ammo for 0.5 seconds. Okay, but if you have more fire rate, then whenever you reach the state of infinite ammo, then with more fire rate, you shoot more bullets for free. Correct? Because the higher your fire rate is, the more bullets you shoot in the given second. Right? Yeah, makes sense, technically. I mean, I guess. And we can craft the Predator. Like, I could show you the build. So it's not like I can't show you the build. I can just show you the build, right? So we can just craft the Predator. So wait, we are in the soccer build. The soccer build we have saved, okay? So we can just go here. We can just whip out the Predator. Again, we don't have a calibration for it, which kind of makes it feel bad. We're going to craft the Oasis mask because you do need to craft the Oasis mask. So that one gets crafted as well. Then we're going to, I think I'm going to just like, let's get the fire rate calibration in. Like, suck it, chat. Let's go into my backpack. Even like the only thing I hate about the calibration is its weak spot damage. So that's my only caveat. That's my only downside of this. So this is fire rate, but it's weak spot damage. I don't have this in any other way. So that's like it, right? The minus 50% accuracy might be a stinker, but you can actually offset this. So we're going to get that over. That's the right one, correct? I'm not getting the wrong one. Fire rate, yeah. Let's get this over. Calibrate the MG4 Pret. We're getting the... fire rate. Good. Now I need more tungsten, and we're going to go for the double yield tungsten I talked about, right? So I can make 99 tungsten, but it's actually way more than that. Then we're going to go for the MG4 Pret. And we need some more. Let's put it on now. So we're going to put the Predator on instead of the Soccer. By the way, the Predator works insanely well with a Black Panther too. So they work great together. Now we're going to take, like, I haven't decided which one I like more here. So I usually like Shootout because it's just weapon damage. And again, weapon damage plus is just great. Especially this also gives you 10% mag capacity. So everything that gives this gun mag capacity is just fantastic. So that's usually what I'm aiming for a little bit, just more items with mag capacity. In this case, we're also not doing the crit rate plus. In this case, we're going for the weak spot damage plus because hitting a weak spot gives you more weak spot damage. And then again, 7.5% mag capacity. The reloading is useless. Technically, you could go when reloading an empty mag, you get mag capacity plus 30%. I've been thinking about this, chat. And what do you think? What do you think? Because technically reloading an empty magazine with 30% more mag capacity is nice. Or momentum. Because momentum is also nice. Fire rate plus 10% for the first 50% of the mag. So if we just, instead of getting more weak spot damage, get more fire rate, then again, it's more fire rate in total. Right? And I like this mod generally because it's 4.5%, right? I mean, we just would be missing out on the weak spot damage. So I do like the fire rate plus, but this is also a lot of damage, right? But more fire rate could be like, as we're juicing fire rate, let's actually try this one out in a while. Then as your mask mod, we're taking the Blitzkrieg that we talked about. So for the more stacks, and we're actually going to take the Oasis mask as you have to take that, right? So that's cool. Then on your gloves, you would, in this case, go for just a flat weapon damage buff. Just flat weapon damage. And in this case, obviously, we would want to have the mag capacity, but 7.5%, sadly, only. So on your boots, you would probably go for, yeah, just like standard covered advance. And the interesting part is for the MG... you could either go for the 20% stack, like after 5 bullets consumed, right? You get the bullet siphon, so you would do just tons here, which also is, by the way, magazine capacity, so bullet siphon just works generally good. I think it was this one where I should take in, yeah. So it's mostly bullet siphon, right? And then on the chest, you would take something that gives you bonus magazine capacity. Like I've literally just here, that's 9.6, right? So just bonus mag capacity, because right now, I'm just running around with, ta-da, 100 bullets, just like that, correct? And that's normal. I don't know if we have copper or MG steel bullets or whatever we have going on right now. And then you would just crouch down. And with all the fire rate bonuses and everything you have right now. Oh, wait, we need, before we shoot this. We need accuracy because we got a huge chunk of minus accuracy. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Sorry if I butcher accuracy. 2 times usually. And then we're taking the bonus, the maximum boost that you can get because you can actually get it up to 91, right? So it's quite nice how high you can get it. And then we're just gonna be juicing away at the weak spot, and it's just like, yeah, it's wibble wobbling over the place, but you can just get so much damage out of this with standard copper bullets. It's just nice. But you gotta stack like your what is it called again? Your fast gunner as much up as possible. Like this is 20 fast gunner stacks, so your fire rate is just going places. But it's also all over the place. Can we like show this here right now? Oh shit, it doesn't show on a curved wall. Does it show on a normal wall? I don't have normal walls in my house. I only have curved walls. No, wait, I have normal walls here. Wait. It's like as soon as you stand somewhat away from your target, like your bullets are, right? So you're gonna be looking where you actually hit your bullets, and if you're then ADSing down, right? Like you have a heavy pull to the left. You gotta get used to this. That's what your gun does. But obviously, we need to get the at least steel LMG bullets. Everything below steel LMG bullets feels wasty. But like the thing is, so if you play this now, let's craft 5,000 bullets, okay? So if you play this gun now in one single silo, let's get it at least 4 times upgraded so we get more fire. Oh wait, we don't even have the 50% minus accuracy yet. Wait, chat. Wait. Look, we didn't even have minus 50% accuracy yet, right? No. Give me a second. Now we have minus 50% accuracy, right? So let's see how that actually looks. But yeah, the gun is so bullet hungry, so I can show you like one single silo with this gun, and you're gonna be like, oh, that was all your bullets? Yikes. Yikes. So now this is with a minus 50% bonus accuracy, so we're gonna go back to our spot that we had before. We're crouching down, we're ADSing. And yeah, those bullets are quite over the place, right? Something. But hey, with all the fire rate still, when you're just blasting away at this, right? Oh my goodness, did you just like mango? Don't you do that. We need to throw hands. See, like even with steel bullets, right? Even with like a 5 times calibrated gun only, you can almost get 50,000 DPS. So the gun itself, like when it comes down to what it can juice out like that, would just like the amount of damage it can do, it's nice. I have one complaint or caveat that the only Cradle buff for this, so let's put all the Cradle buffs out, okay? So we're gonna go for the boost, right? Then you get the Deviant boost, which works. You get the weapon damage after reloading, which is useless. It's useless. I'm sorry, it is. Sadly. So you get the hitting a weak spot or reloading grants armor, so that's good. Then you have down here, while in Fortress Warfare or Fast Gunner, great. And that's it, right? So bounce, defeating a marked enemy, fighting solo is actually not bad, right? But defeating an enemy with continuous damage, defeating an enemy with power surge, unstable bomber, like fighting in a team, triggering bullet effect, reloading for that, right? So there's nothing like in any way useful for the gun. Like there's literally like this is the only Cradle bonus damage buff, and that's it. Everything else is not helping. But I guess with all the things that it has bonus already, like again, if I use the golden bullets, if I use all this stuff together, right, I can do 100k DPS consistently. It works. It's really nice. And it's plenty like crazy damage. Which is beautiful. Is 4 sets of Lone Wolf not worth it for the shrapnel? See, this is where, like, shrapnel is weapon damage. And it can crit. But now comes my question. What does more damage? Juicing up your base damage and then critting? Or juicing up your crit damage and having less base damage? And that is the question of Bastille set versus Lone Wolf. But I don't have Lone Wolf to test this. I cannot tell you which one would perform better. Right? In my base assumption on how I understand the game, the Bastille set should outperform the Lone Wolf set. Should, technically, outperform. Should, technically, outperform. But I don't know if that's a fact. See, like, how much damage that thing is just dealing, like, with... Like, that damage is doing... Like, the damage the gun is doing with a 4 times calibration is more than currently my 7 times calibrated shrapnel gun, right? Like, you like just no weak spot damage, even though this is all weak spot damage. Just rinsing away these cocoons is just, like, with a 4 times calibration, so much more effective than anything the shrapnel build has done. This is steel ammo, yes. This is steel ammo right now. Just buy Lone Wolf. Oh, I don't have the money to buy that yet. Sorry. But I will buy the Lone Wolf to finally get a bit peace of mind to actually fix that. But again, I just simply have the Bastille set. I don't have the Lone Wolf set. So there you go. Beautiful damage. There's almost 7,000 damage per shot as a weak spot damage. So that's like when you're juicing away, right? What are you farming Theta for? We're not farming Theta. We're just showing off what the build can actually do damage-wise. With a 4 times calibrated weapon, not 10 times, 4 times. And this is sadly only a 2 dog, so it's not even a 4 dog or a 5 dog. So we're missing out. So Theta, like, if you want to know what to farm, which dungeon to farm for mods, there is a document in the YouTube video where which mods are dropping where. Technically, like, I farm Theta if I need Stardust or Energy Link. Theta is the perfect farm because it's the shortest dungeon for the most outcome. Is it possible to farm Leela Labs? I mean, sure, you can farm Leela Labs with a team, but you should only farm the first boss. So if you're looking to get Rebecca is like the deviation. If you're looking to farm Rebecca, then you only want to do the first boss. The first boss, you can solo, super easy, and then you can just farm Leela Labs. Wow. Yeah, get an ADS on this distance or your bullets will just weirdly split. Come on, give me that wolf. I want to just, like, if I'm already going all out, I want to go all out. What's your opinion on bounce? It's useless. I know a lot of people like bounce. But since bounce doesn't work against bosses the way it works against other mobs, I just really don't enjoy the use of it. So, like, we still have 55 bullets left right now, correct? Whee! And, like, we still have 30 bullets left. So I didn't lose my bullets. And why didn't I lose my bullets? Because I essentially stacked up the fast gunner once to 20 to get 4 times that effect of unlimited bullets. And that's the thing. So you're essentially shooting away. Like, I can show this now on the target dummy to make that clear. So fast gunner essentially lasts for 3 seconds, 5 seconds. How long does fast gunner, like fast gunner lasts like very short. So if you once stop shooting, your fast gunner stacks are actually going away. You could pronounce that. Okay. You could improve that. We don't see your ammo count. Yes, because I'm fat. I'm sorry. But you essentially lose your fast gunner relatively quick. Okay. So yeah. Seconda. When it came down to fast gunner, just to iterate. So you essentially shoot, right? And this is 5 fast gunner stacks. Now I would have unlimited ammo, but now they're gone. So if I essentially stack up 20 and 20 stacks up, 20 stacks up relatively fast, then I could stop shooting for a second and then I could stack up 20 again, right? So I can essentially use this infinite ammo if I want to, like in bursts. So like go for 20. Then wait, and then go for 20 again. So you get like this 5 times infinite ammo, right? And then like, see, I'm still at 44 ammo. And now I'm like just bursting away. And I'm again, infinite ammo, right? So I can get the infinite multiple times in this 100 bullets. Just like that, really useful. So that's probably how I would play that if you have a long boss fight. I mean, you most likely won't need this against a long boss fight, right? But you can just get so much out of this. It's so useful, especially with the infinite bullets. It's just great. I don't like that. That's a lot of damage. A bit more stability on the Predator. Stability is your vertical recoil. Accuracy is your horizontal recoil. Stability does nothing for you. Stability is you pulling down your mouse. Okay? Horizontal is this. Stability is that. This you control by doing this. That you can't control. This you cannot control. Right? And this is happening. The only thing you can do is choose a different calibration. So we're currently playing this with a calibration that reduces our accuracy by 50%. Right? So you do need to ADS, or this is ruining you. This is also why I will need to buy the red dot. So this is something that is missing right now. I need to go to Severin and I need to buy the red dot because that is the best side. There's no better side than this. Like you can argue with me all day and you'll be wrong. And I hate to tell you you're wrong, right? You're wrong. Sorry. But the best side you can get is from Severin, and it's the compact reflex side. I think that should be it. Hopefully I didn't screw that up now, because the compact reflex side is actually this one. Ta-da. Nothing like for a gun that needs to ADS in a close quarter environment, they're nothing better. Fucking red dot. Done. And this improves the build a billion times, right? You need to shoot a weak spot and you can actually hold down on the weak spot. Yeah. So I think, Chad, what we're going to do tomorrow. Okay, this was today. You will have a video tomorrow with 2 builds. I'll give you the Shrapnel build and I'll give you the MG4 Predator build. Again, with all the updates we made to it. Okay, so because I improved the builds, because these I think are my favorite promo builds right now that are also relatively cheap. The Soccer is obviously cheaper than the MG4 Predator because this is going to cost you 16K. Right? That being said, I'll be ending the stream today because my family invited me for an ice cream. So I'm sorry for this, but my children are going outside. It's very sunny. QSOL, thank you for the subscription on YouTube as well. I'll be giving you that video, but I'll put also the stream live if you want to see like all our experiments today, which have included essentially the MG4 Predator, the Last Valor, and we did some Icy Rain stuff, but the conclusion was Icy Rain, At least not if you don't have a calibration for crit rate. Therefore, great good night, evening, day, whatever time you have. I'll put the VOD live straight away, so we'll see each other. Thank you very much for coming, lurking, chatting, waiting, hanging out. Love you all.